Hello there, ladies, gentlemen, and unicorns. Sorry for the abrupt change. I wanted to change the stinger animation in OBS and completely forgot to put it in there or to actually do it because I had a busy week preparing for this. So yeah, it is me. Hi, thank you everyone for dropping by to this very, very special stream. You see me, I'm grinning like a Cheshire, like the cat that always grins. So this means I'm super happy that you are here, and congratulations, Frank, on winning the new pop quiz. Lady Misleaf, a very close second with only 2% points difference in questions correctly answered to Frank. Cursibu on placed third, and we had Andrew JK with 50% questions answered correctly, and Tutvari with 100% questions. It was just that it wasn't that many questions. And oh my god, Andrew JK, it's already starting. Thank you so much. Oh, this is amazing. So I think everyone now has a gift subscription. This is wonderful. Thank you so much. Let's see who haven't I greeted so far. I've just read out the results of the quiz. Hello everyone. Hello Cursibu, of course. Hello Andrew. Thank you so much. Hey Frank. We learned that Phil doesn't like too much coffee in his coffee. Yeah, this is indeed. I like it. I like my coffee milky. What can I say? So then I can drink more. My God, Badger Dash also. Badger Dash. Thank you for dropping by for this as always. You're so generous. So for those who don't know, Badger Dash has made it a tradition to gift subs to this very channel, and especially today. My God, this is okay. This grin will carry me through the next week, I would think. So thank you. Jerem says, oh, not a flute. And yeah, the question to the Super Mario Bros. Thing. Console says, happy anniversary, Pixel Prophecy. Can't stay because I need to pick up my kid from the train. Have fun, everyone. It's okay. I think this is almost a good enough excuse for not partaking in the anniversary celebrations. Picking up, I hope it's a specific kid and not just any kid at the train station, because there's a slight difference there. Anyway, thank you so much. Happy 10th, says Andrew JK before gifting, and Tutvari says, thanks for the gift sub, and Badger Dash apparently covered everyone who is here present with even more subs and subscriptions. So everyone's a subscriber now. You're a subscriber, and you're a subscriber now. Thank you so much. Do people who don't do the quiz get a greeting? Probably not. No. I'm not greeting anyone who doesn't partake in the quiz. It's just when I see that you're partaking in the quiz, I see it in the chat, and then I scroll through the chat when I'm greeting people. So that's the actual reason why there is a quiz. Gift subs for all, says Cursibu. Indeed. So everyone has a gift subscription now, and this reminds me of another thing that I meant to do this week in preparation, that was have more emotes on Twitch that you can actually use. Again, I'm glad that the technical difficulties emote gets used this frequently on this very channel, because reasons. So I hope you can use it on other people's channel when their webcam is not functioning or they are on the wrong scene, or yeah, these kind of things. Oh, thank you, Badger Dash, for saying happy anniversary. Thank you again from the very bottom of my heart, right there where there is Star Trek and Back to the Future. Right from there goes out my thanks to you. Wonderful. And Fronta TTV says, hey, congrats, Phil. Crazy to think it's been 10 years. I know, right? 10 years. I still feel like it was yesterday. Wow, says Fronta. I believe I found your channel around like 2016, 2017. Crazy how time flies. Here's to 10 more years of Pixel Prophecy and more. You're all so very kind. I always say it, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for all you wonderful, amazing people who are part of this journey that is Pixel Prophecy, because otherwise it would have been just this little fun project where I make a video or two of my game dev things and then move on to my next project. But all of you, this entire Ludum Dare community has proved just such an amazing and friendly place to be. So I'm glad that you are still here and that I get to hang with you every other week. And my wonderful wife, Connie, reminded me that, of course, it's technical difficulties. I've planned for nice lights in the background and I completely forgot them because I have a very dense to-do list, and I forgot half of it. So thank you, Connie, for reminding me. Let's put on the lights. Much better now, isn't it? Yeah, this was again in preparation for this special day to have the lights on in the background, because I wanted to make it look a little bit nicer, and all the nerd stuff there in the background. You know me, I don't collect a lot of nerd stuff. Says the man who has an entire basement full of stuff. But here I've recently made some additions, and hopefully I can show them off a little bit better in the future at some point. But again, I wanted to make this look a little bit nicer. Serious Slothy is here. Got a gift sub from Badger Dash. Thank you. Yeah, thank you again, Badger Dash, and welcome, Serious Slothy. You're marked now as a subscriber, so thank you for your support. Lady Mistcliff says, do we still count as a LD community if some of us no longer participate in LD? Of course. I mean, even if you only considered participating in a Ludum Dare game jam once, I would say you're part of the community because it's the spirit. We all know that sometimes not everyone finishes when making a game jam, or sometimes it's not possible to join. But even if you just think about joining a game jam and having fun together making games, I think, yeah, that definitely still counts as the LD community. It's like the old band. They haven't made music in a decade or so, but they're still the band, you know? That's that sort of energy there is. And Benzus84 says, 10 years, congrats Phil, and thanks for the fantastic videos. I was hooked as soon as I discovered your postmortem for 6210 BC. Again, it's the postmortems, and thank you so much for discovering me with my postmortems. I know the frequency of postmortems has somewhat dried up, let's say diminished somewhat. But yeah, today I wanted to give you a sneak peek of 2 upcoming postmortems, because contrary to all the haters out there aren't any haters, I'm just so lucky. Yes, postmortems are still in production. The only thing that gets between me and the postmortems is this nasty thing called work, and then there's the other thing that's called sleep. So I'm trying to cut down on both, no worries. I give everything that I have. No, kidding aside, I'm currently in the process with my employer so that I can get maybe 1 day off every week to spend on Pixel Prophecy stuff. And also next week I already have planned a shoot for a long-standing postmortem that has been in production for, I would say, 10 years or so. Well, it's not 10 years, but it's I think 5 years or 6 years. It's the Ludum Dare postmortem to LD42. So long time viewers of Pixel Prophecy and audience of this very stream. It has been a running gag. LD42, right? It's been the Half-Life 3 or the Duke Nukem forever of this channel. And again, contrary to belief, yes, it is still a work in the production. And I've had a little setback with Ludum Dare 42 with the production side of things, because I was using Nuke, the software called Nuke, to do the compositing. The only downside is Nuke is freaking expensive. And I had this one perpetual license, that I could carry right up until Windows 11, and for some reason at some point it just broke. And despite getting in contact with product support from Nuke, yeah, it's discontinued. But recently, just last week, I found a open source version. It looks almost like an open source copy of Nuke. So if any one of you is interested in it, it's called Natron. It hasn't been that actively developed, but from my just little tests, I could render out on my tablet in the cafe, just being on battery power. I could render ProRes QuickTimes out of it. So I'm very, very optimistic that somehow I can continue my work, at least with the compositings that are somewhat in a state of limbo. Anyway, good news is, yes, it's still in production, and yes, I'm going to shoot something next week already. Got parts of the scenery ordered. Foreshadowing. What else have I missed? Can we thank Connie too for the support? Yes, absolutely. I will shout it over to her. Connie, Die Leute bedanken sich bei dir für den Support. I hope she hears me. And I earned a hype chest, says Twitch. And LD48 is always in our hearts, says Badge Dash. Yeah, LD48, that's the other thing, which today I will have a little sneak peek for all of you kind people who have been supporting me, because like I said, there are so many videos at various stages in production, and I thought today, what other date than today would be a wonderful occasion to show you some sneak peeks of the things that are in production that world premiere hasn't been shown anywhere so far. No haters, says Frank. All right, they're all unsubscribed after the Alpha Wolf video. Yeah, Alpha Wolf, for those who don't know, 2 years ago I made my April's Fool's joke where I said I turn the entire Gamedev channel into a survivalist channel and my persona is going to be Alpha Wolf. Ow! And I had this up for 1 day, and I think some people actually believed it, and I really felt very bad for them, because it was meant to be so obnoxious and over the top that I thought it would be obvious, but of course it's the internet. You never know when someone really has a crack in their shell. So yeah, that's why I refrain from doing this kind of April's Fool's jokes, because again, April's Fool's jokes are actually not that funny, because in the end it's just making or taking advantage of someone's honest beliefs or honest hopes. It's like when Adobe says, yeah, the new Photoshop without monthly subscription, and it's like, if this is an April Fool's joke, I will end you. Of course it wasn't. It was a joke. I don't think they made this joke, but yeah, just on this level, and I don't want to be on this level with my joke. So this was a one-time thing, and yes, Alpha Wolf, the character, is still around. Maybe I will use him if I need a very special kind of idiot for a bit, but we will see. So yeah, Alpha Wolf drove out the haters. Lady Miscliff says, hope you didn't need recordings from me from our LD postmortem. The last bits of blue have long faded from my hair. Thank you so much. Yes, this was the collaboration that we had for Ludum Dare 51, I think. I'm not so good with numbers, but thank you. And so far, from what I have, I'm still sorting through the hours upon hours of our calls to get the interesting bits out. Interestingly, the AI does not that good a job of summarizing things. It's like you would summarize things when you are when you know you have a presentation in 5 minutes. Class has already started. You didn't do anything, and to get a summary of something that you should have read is like you take every fourth line and just somehow bunch them together and call this a summary. It feels like this, so I have to do this with good old natural intelligence. So again, thank you for the what's the word? Not recommendation, opportunity, not opportunity. You know, the thing that when you say something that is nice, and I say thank you. LD42 or practical nuclear fusion, says Frank. Probably both. Re-recordings, I mean, yeah, the reshoots, yeah. So far, all looks good, and thanks to the power of large learning models, should there be anything with audio, like too much noise, too much reverberation or something going on. That's the good thing, is I can clean this up rather nicely. So we should be good. I'm knocking on wood now, but offer, that was the word. Thank you for the offer. And Serious Slothy says, congrats to 10 years. Thank you, Slothy. I found you from the LD Jam videos a few years ago, not sure how many. I still, to this day, quote the pantaloons scene from the Headroom video. Oh, thank you for remembering. I have made a little compilation of all the stupid characters that I've made over the years. And yeah, the pantaloons thing, there are certain quotes that even Connie and I quote to each other from the video. So again, I'm just very, very grateful that you found something in there that is quotable. I mean, have you seen my good trousers? I think I put them on the etagere, but I cannot find them. I think it was the line. Ow, yeah. Or what did you say, Jerome? What's probably just Awu, yeah. We've been so thirsty for another postmortem, man. Yeah. the thing is, me too. The only problem is that, of course, once I upped my production quality, also my perfectionism is constantly getting in the way. It was 1.5 years ago, I think I started what I called the low effort video editing lesson, to teach myself a lesson to don't waste so much time just pixel punching, pixel pushing, just messing about with perfectionism on videos. And I thought, through the month of February 2024, I wanted to put out a video every week. I did this for 2 weeks, and then I stopped. And I don't think I was very vocal about it. Why? But yes, the video production was okay-ish, but not up to my usual standards. And I realized with week 3, I kept overscoping, but I had to force myself to downscope, and I was hating both of it. On one hand, this letting go or foregoing of some of my perfectionism. On the other hand, I knew that I wanted to do so much more, and it was just tearing me apart, Mark. So that's that. My lesson was I cannot do non-perfect things. I've eased up a little bit on it over the years. I think this comes with my ongoing age, that some of my very hard-headed perfectionism, I'm softening up a little bit. So, and have a lot of videos in production, and some of them are very close to being finished. There is this, for example, this one video of building this computer the current thing is running on, because it was such a tumultuous journey, not just hardware, from the hardware side, and I wanted to turn it into a video which is, again, almost complete, still in production. Anyway, we want postmortems, right? So this is why it's currently on the back burner. I still love the clip, says Lady Miss Sleeve, of you swallowing the murky water with a smile and trying not to throw up. This was from the Alpha Wolf, the resolution video, as it was called, where I said, this was all a April Fool's joke, no worries. And we produced some stupid little clips of Alpha Wolf in the forest, teaching you how to survive in the wild. Don't try this at home, especially not outdoors. And there was this one bit where Alpha Wolf was drinking murky water it was hidden with a subtle edit, and of course the first time you look at it, it really looks like I just scoop up water from a puddle and drink it right there. So that's, again, it's all on the I'm losing the word, YouTube channel, probably because I've said it so much that my brain just farted. So you can see this all on the Pixel Prophecy YouTube channels, which I hope many of you know and remember fondly. If you're here and just by pure chance and accident, I probably should have prepared something to onboard new people, because I try this celebration not to be a super in-group kind of affair where we just talk to each other in codes that have been evolved over the years. So let me switch over. There's the stinger again. So for those who don't know, this has been and still is the Pixel Prophecy YouTube channel, and I'm still at 89 videos, and the last video was 6 months ago, and this was shortly before I fell ill, just a tutorial on making Doom style maps. So and the PC building components, this was last year, actually meant to prelude to the PC building thing. But as we've seen, postmortems, I think the last one here was the codename Aufgeblähte Drossel, an East German spy thriller of my visit to the national broadcasting station. So if you're into this weird thing, you can still get it. And also here is, in the older videos, is there the April Fool's joke, the yes, I was joking thing. Let's mute this handsome feller. And here, for those who don't know, this is the Healing Mud video. Right, Kersey says, the extra haters were mad at Alpha Wolf was a joke. Yeah, probably. I hope. Look at this idiot. Always funny. To me, says Frank, it's still weird that some people didn't immediately spot that it was a joke. Again, you never know on the interwebs, I feel like, because I think with some people, especially in the past years, we've seen how they pivot from one standpoint to the next, and you feel like they must be joking, right? Please, they must be joking. But with some people, it's a sad reality. So yeah, I try to be very upfront with everything, to try to make jokes either very explicit or just don't make them especially if they aren't in good taste. Right. Clueless Rima is here. Oh my god, thank you. Congrats to 10 years of creativity and smarts and discipline and everything cool you do, Pixel. Everything cool you do, Pixel. Thank you, Clueless Rima. And thank you for dropping by. I know you're not in the entire game development bubble. So again, my gratitude goes out to everyone just dropping by, despite not being into making games or this kind of thing. So again, I really do appreciate you dropping by and saying this. This is so nice. Lady Misleaf said, in regards to my Alpha Wolf thing, my first thought it was midlife crisis. I mean, this looks like midlife crisis, right? Where I think, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna get all buff and buy a motorcycle or something. So yeah, it's understandable. People, it happens, right? It happens. How long did it last though? Alpha Wolf is so incompetent. Probably, the episode of The Office where Michael also tries to survive in the woods and it goes good, or it runs. He has a survival streak that goes for, I think, until the evening when Dwight has to jump in and make sure that Michael doesn't eat something poisonous. And I think Alpha Wolf probably won't survive an afternoon in the wild. He's that incompetent. But the fun part is he doesn't know how incompetent he is. That's always the gold standard for comedy. Have a character that is completely full of himself and completely self-reflected. Always funny. That's The Office. Frank also, who other than normal Phil could have edited it that well? Oh, thank you. The funny part is I'm in Canada, says Lady Misleaf. So when the video was posted, it was still March 31st here. Yeah, that is the thing. I was just so... I wanted to make sure that it works for everyone right the moment I'm here with in the European time zone with April 1st. So of course I had the video, I think, posted at the cutoff date at midnight sharp. So of course in other parts of the world it was not April 1st, and yeah, if it's not April 1st, it's not a joke. So this is not a drill. He's serious now. Midlife crisis, unsubscribe. So yeah, I understand it. CNDK99 says, damn, it has been 10 years. We are all getting old, aren't we? Jokes aside, congratulations. Yeah, that's you know what the saddest thing about the 10 years of Pixel Prophecy is? That I don't feel that much older than when I started. Like I said, I've eased up on some parts of my perfectionism and stubbornness in some ways, but overall I feel like, yeah, I'm probably a lost cause. That's the thing with getting older. I still feel like I'm in my, I don't know, mid-20s, late 20s, early 30s, something around this. And I wonder, probably when I'm on my deathbed, I feel like, okay, I think I feel like 40 now. Probably, I don't know. It's in the end, it's what do people say when they age and don't handle it well? Age is just a number. Cheers to that. Tudbury says, 6 months, holy moly, I feel like it was yesterday. Yeah, same. And thank you, Cursibu, for redeeming Unicorn, which means I should have something to drink. Which, oh, by the way, I almost forgot. I specifically have here this mug with me. And this is a custom mug of my own making, at least the designs. I didn't make the mug. But Frank, thank you, Frank, by the way, already has a similar one with Curly, the runaway bracket, with Ashley, the unicoding unicorn, and Java McBeans enjoying their developer mug. By the way, this mug is also a mug design, and yeah, this is my sample that I got, and I launched my shop, that is shop.pixelprophecy.com. I think last week, because I want to get away from Redbubble, which usually I had my designs up on Redbubble. I mean, there are up there, but over the years I've been grown increasingly annoyed with Redbubble because of the cut for artists. I mean, it was never good, but it was okay, and then they introduced an account fee where suddenly they thought, you know what, we want like 35% of your earnings just so because you have an account with us, and they increased this account fee. Now they simplified and straightened it and restructured it so that the account fee is now like 50% of everything that I made. So instead, I'm here now with the provider that is called fourthwall.com, and I can host it here on my own domain that is shop.pixelprophecy.com. And since I like to do a lot of cyberpunk art, I thought I lean into this one. So don't be alarmed when it's called the Pixel Prophecies Glitch Emporium. It is still good old Pixel Prophecy here. So, and there you can see here that this is this very mug that I photographed like 2 days ago here on this desk. So yeah, and the good thing is it's I think it's cheaper than on Redbubble, and my cut is bigger than on Redbubble. The packaging apparently is handled sufficiently well in comparison to Redbubble, and the products here, it's a little bit more cumbersome to put them up, but overall it feels like it feels much better than the other shop things or shop experiments that I've made with Zazzle and Spreadshop, and there was another one. So yeah, if any of these things strikes your fancy or you need it as a present, please feel free to buy one. And even if not, if you, for example, you say, okay, you know what, I like this design, but the background, you know what, it would be cool if there's a black background and the thing would be in, I don't know, yellow or green, then you can just click here, request a specific design product, which brings you here to the request forum. So just so you know that this is not set in stone, there will be constantly, hopefully, new products there. So if you want to support me and have any you like anything, especially like the retro computing stuff, if you're into this and you like any of the designs and think, you know what, I don't like it on a mug, I want it on a t-shirt, it's just setting up a new product for me. And like I said, I tried it I bought some samples, and they look very, very okay in terms of quality. I mean, the mug itself, this one here has this made in China sticker at the bottom, but overall it survived a 70-degree run through the washing machine. That's 70 degrees centigrade. So far it has survived this and looks still good, which you can't say for everything. Also the t-shirts, surprisingly good quality. The one that I'm wearing right now is I think from Spreadshirt, and it's already showing holes. But anyway, yeah, this I'm just so happy that finally I have this thing there online. Anyway, thank you for and by the way, sorry for this what was it, promotion advertising in there. Yeah, anyway, let's stop. And Tsiongmo, my god, what have I missed? A raid party. Thank you, Tsangmo. So this has been a wonderful experience today, because first we got so many people gifting out subscriptions, and now I'm being rated. Thank you. How was your stream? How was Pushing Pixels today? I hope you had a great time. What else have I missed in the chat? I've been talking for so long. Need to hydrate in parties too, says Kersey. Indeed. Lucky you definitely feel 40, says Lady Miss Sleep. Oh dear. CNDK says, I'm also like that. I think I stopped aging mentally after 20. That's the thing, right? Is this a good sign or a bad sign? I feel like, how do you do, fellow kids? Sometimes, but so far I'm good. We just finished Pixel Art for Beginners. Yeah, if any of you is interested in learning pixel art from really one of the absolute professionals in terms of pixel art, please all check out and subscribe to and at least follow Tsiongmo on Twitch and also on the socials. I think you're on Blue Sky, right? So again, it's not the streams aren't like, yeah, this is how you do it, and you know the meme of how to draw a panda. First you draw a circle, then you draw another circle, then you shade it until it looks like a panda. So it's not that. It's really more like a tutored session session of teaching beginners how to do pixel art, and everything is super well explained by Tsiangmo, and especially the decisions that you make when placing pixels. Why put a pixel there with that color? What effect does it have? And really, you learn how to ask yourself the right questions when you want to do some art. So this, again, I cannot recommend this enough. So again, thank you for the rate. This is so nice. By the way, says Frank, my attention will be kind of on and off today, just kind of a bust, I would assume, a busy evening. So all good, Frank. Again, I'm just so glad that so many people are here and celebrate with me this very important milestone for Pixel Prophecy. So again, thank you everyone for being here, and sorry for that the raiders just stumbled into my promotional thing about my own shop. So nice mug, says Frank. Oh, you wouldn't know it. And the Ghoul Prince is also here. Thank you, and happy 10 years OMG. Thank you so much for dropping by. You know what, which brings us, since we have artists here, which brings me to another thing that I prepared. And this was, like I said, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. And some people were kind enough to make fan art over the years. And this is the first piece of fan art that I got from Roar in 2018. My God, this feels like it was so long ago. And it's, again, I love the attention to detail in this fan art. It really blew me away. On one hand, it's when I try to do self-portraits, they never come off this well. And also my Half-Life 2 shirt is there. And the unicorn, of course, is here. The old Pixel Prophecy logo is still in the green shades, when I thought, you know what, this muddy green, this swampy, unattractive, unappealing mud green, you know what, this could be my signature color, because I thought my initial idea was the green of the old Pixel Prophecy logo was more like the old Game Boy, but of course the Game Boy was more this bluish green and not this. So I turned it down, the saturation, and unified the hue, and then it looked a little bit drab. So this is why actually my favorite color is yellow. I've learned over the years. So this is why I've had the redesign. Yeah, another artwork of Roar from 2019, and like I said, I love the attention to detail, because Roar pixeled all the characters that were known at this point. And we have here good old me with my Half-Life 2 t-shirt. And also my wristband and my watch is there. Then we have the Nintendo boss. Then we have 3D fill, which you can see with every stinger here, unless I change the stingers here when I'm switching. Yeah, now it didn't. But this stinger, this guy we had here. Then we had Dom Phil. You know what? You will see some of these characters. Ones that I do not have in the clip out is Firefighter Phil, because this one was only in a making of of my Ludum Dare 41 keynote. Because this was a deleted scene. But yes, I was doing civil service, and I was at a fire station there, and this was my uniform, and yeah, I looked a little bit grungy back then. Also, we have here Seth Carissa, which is my persona for making music. So if you're into electronic and chip music, head over to sethcarissa.com, and there you can listen to all my music that I've put up there. I'm self-hosting my music now, because I was for years on SoundCloud, but then something AI training, and of course I was also paying for a pro subscription, where they said they distribute my music and make sure that they are marketed and brought to listeners, and also on Spotify and Amazon Music, and I made 2 cents in a couple of years of streaming. So I thought, you know what, it's not worth it. I'm just going to self-host my music, and sethcarissa.com. There's all my music you can listen to in the browser. I'm not tracking anything, there aren't any cookies. It's just the website. Why it takes so long to load, relatively speaking, is just because I have this massive JPEG background image. That's everything. And then, of course, we have here the character of the detective and goatee Phil, because in my first postmortems I still was sporting a goatee. Pirate Phil, when I had the surgery on my eye. It's all good, it all was well, but I had to wear this eye patch, and I thought, you know what, every day is talk like a pirate day. And we have Johnny Depp, because apparently I've heard this a couple of times that I resemble him to like 40% or something. So to continue with the chat, I'm horrible. The chat is like probably probably people already told me like 20 minutes ago that they just left. So I like sci-fi games. And spoiler, I'm just here for 2 minutes. Yeah, exactly. So if you're watching this, I like sci-fi games in the VOD or not, thank you so much for dropping by. Just came home, need to eat, but happy 10th anniversary. You don't hear this, but I will shout it so loudly that you can hear it. Thank you so much. I like sci-fi games. A Gold Prince says, I also got gifted a sub from Andrew JK. Thank you. So many generous people out today. And yeah, Badger Dash gave out some more gifts. So again, I think probably everyone is now covered. So thank you. I should come up with more ways to say thank you, but I really mean it. So thank you, everyone. Youngmo said, we did so many things today. First, a paper dolling, then drawing, then we showed 2 games. Wow, this is even games. I like when there's a variety in the stream. Blingonberry says, I would love to see more of the streams up on YouTube, edited or not, since I'm never on Twitch. Okay, thank you. This is good feedback, because I thought no one's really that interested in old VODs or videos on demand where sometimes I just stumble over my own words and I feel like, it's probably not very interesting to watch, especially after 2 weeks and Twitch has purged the old stream. So I think, it's not really interesting, but I really should put this up on Film Motion Video, which this Twitch thing was branded before I returned to Pixel Prophecy. Yeah, so you know what, let me write this down, especially this one. I think this one deserves definitely to be archived there. So more VODs on YT, whatever this means. And right, Xiangmo says it's only on Twitch and only live. Okay, and thanks for the recommendation to Pixel. Yeah, you're welcome. As always, it's follow Xiangmo for art. The Gold Prince says, amazing art. That guy looks like you, says Frank. This one, right? It's amazing. Polisher Phil is my fave, says the Gold Prince. Yeah, that is the Polisher. This is indeed when you know me, as I've said multiple times, I'm a perfectionist, and when I'm polishing, I look like this. I can't be helped. And Jerem, thank you for posting the sefcarissa.com. Yeah, if you click listen to Sef's catalog, there aren't that many tracks there, but as the same as with the shop, when I get to it, I will add more. Still looking forward to question mark. Indeed, you know what? Maybe it will be a good time after we've finished looking at the wonderful fan art. Maybe to have a look at a sneak peek of an upcoming postmortem. And hi YouTube, says Cursey-Boo. Indeed, hi YouTube. So yeah, this is from InkDeo21 from 2021, and the funny thing is it's so minimalist, but still I feel like my essence has been caught there with the white hair. This is because I'm aging, my silvery hair, and also the wristbands and so much. So again, as always, I'm just amazed with how little you need to make a person recognizable. And then Roar did it again in 2022 with, again, some more pixel drawings of myself with a different style. And of course, this was updated to include what we have here. This one is my medium to less successful stand-up comedy persona, Kleingeld. And right next to it, we have not the Polisher Phil, but he's very closely related. This is Insane Asylum Phil, because this theme just sucks so much. And also we have here the Polisher Phil somewhere in between. Milestone Dev is also here. Happy 10 years, Phil. Thank you, Milestone. Thank you for dropping by and that you've made it. And the Gold Prince says, this is so adorable, right? I mean, it reminds me a little bit of the style of Sword and Sorcery from probably also 2015 or 11 years ago with the tiny twig legs. But again, you don't need much. It's just a couple of pixels and it works. It's stand-up Phil was funny. Oh, thank you for being so kind, Cursey-Boo. You know what? When I did the stand-up bit, I wasn't in too good of a mood, and I thought, this is probably going to suck. But then again, somehow I eased into the persona and just owned it. So I thought, you know what? Maybe a little bit over the top. It should work fine. since we have you here, Kersey Boo. Kersey made this from one of my streams. just took a still with me in the top hat and made me a Fallout 1 character where I say, hello there, ladies, gentlemen, and unicorns. Welcome to the government office. It's your mayor, Phil. We're going to build a city in the wasteland today. Oh, and Fronta says, so much awesome fan art. What? I know, right? I'm this here in the background. Yeah, it's there. You can't see it. Connie made a little box for me, the unicorn box, and whenever I'm sad or have self-doubts, all the fan art is in there and all encouraging little tweets and messages that I get. It really goes a long way. As other artists know, it's when you hear some criticism, it hits you like 10 punches. But if you get a compliment, usually you go, yeah. Thank you, but it's if 10 people say, yeah, this is awesome, and one says, you know what, this sucks and I don't like it, you don't remember the 10 people who say nice things about you. And I really, with this box and all you nice people, I really want to put this mentally and psychologically, so to speak, in balance, where I feel like, you know what, I want to appreciate it more when people tell me that they like something, because you're more likely to go out of your way to tell someone that they suck than when you look at something and you think, you know what, that was nice and I like it. And I've started with a habit of telling people on the socials when I see something that's nice art, I give them a like and I say, you know what, that's nice, thank you for sharing. And I feel like, this made me happier. This hopefully puts a smile on someone else's face. And yeah, with fan art, it's the same thing. I'm just so amazed by all you doing things like this. So it's really, I'm not crying, you're crying. Connie, oh my God, that's so nice and sweet. Yeah, I know Connie's the best. Remember, Domino House happened because of you. See, those are the things where I feel like that is really something where I feel like I cannot. This can't be true, right? For those who don't know, Domino House is a puzzle exploration game, I would say, and the puzzles and the art style, art by Rain Drinker, I think, and it's a really good puzzle game, and I think you can get it on a sale even way too cheap for what it is. It's a short experience, but I love the puzzles, and again, it's why this happened because of me. I don't really think that is true, but I try to convince myself, well, maybe just a little bit. So thank you. Phil, before seeing the unicorn box. Right, this is my face when I'm just waiting for a surprise party. When's the surprise going to happen? Yeah, okay, no, still keep my eyes covered. And Phil, after seeing the box, indeed, yes. See, this is what you can use the emotes for very, very specific jokes relating to yours truly. Hopefully you can get this one, get some mileage out of this one as well. In good mindset, says Kursibu. Thank you again for making this art and sharing it with me, because I know that it's not something that you do in 5 minutes, because it really takes effort to make fan art. Which brings us to Hekate Agul Prince, since we have you here. This is the fan art that I was absolutely stunned by when I was doing, was it 2 years ago? I think 2023, December 2023, when I was playing Under a Killing Moon, the FMV adventure starring Tex Murphy. And for this, I had the filter on the camera where everything was black and white, but the blue of my background. And apparently it inspired you so much to make this wonderful drawing with me as a detective under a killing moon with the unicorn. Again, it's just amazing. It's really good and really wonderful. So thank you for making art. Jump scared by my own art. There you go. Wow, nice. Yeah. I mean, isn't it? It's nice. It's. I feel like it's captured very well the essence of this character and also of me. So we're not talking just about Ashley, but also about about this guy here. So again, thank you for making art, for sharing it with me especially. I mean, it's one thing to draw someone and the other thing is, of course, sharing it with the person, because suddenly this, I know it from myself. When you draw something that you respect or admire, and then you share it with them, I mean, you really put yourself out there. So again, I'm very grateful and that you've all of you been so brave and shared your art with me. So again, happy smile for weeks now. Princess, thank you for doing vids and deving and streaming, Uwu. Again, I think this is mutual. So I do it because I get enjoyment out of your enjoyment of me being enjoyed. So everyone's a winner. Lady Misleaf says, Domino House, point and click puzzle game made by Lilo Cormick, right, and Hamster Spit, art and concept, and retro indie Josh music. Right, of course there was music. And it happened because I found Phil's videos, says Lady Misleaf, showed them to Lilo, and her, being a real-life programmer, ended up falling in love with the idea of Gamedev and started Purple Cable and coded Domino House as a result. Sometimes when people, I've heard this now a few times where people said, you are the reason because I got into the games industry. And I feel like, oh God, I think they're going to beat me up now. But they mean it as a compliment. So, and I'm very, very grateful that that my silly little videos perhaps showed people something that they didn't actually know that they were into. I remember when I was being a kid, I just thought the computer games just happen out of, I don't know, just magic. Someone in Japan makes all the computer games for the Nintendo and they just appear. And once I realized or saw, I think, a making of or read something about how games are actually made, it was this moment where I thought, oh, I could do this potentially, perhaps, maybe. So again, I'm so grateful that I inspired people to make art and to find something that they love and are into. So again, thank you for sharing. And that was the next thing. Thank you, Frank. You beat me to it, to give the link out to Domino House on Steam, because it's a very good puzzle game and it's a lot of fun and it's a wonderful, nice experience. And also when you think of puzzle games, it's not like, it's like 10 Sudokus and one moving blocks puzzle. It's really, you have to be very observant of the environment and put things in perspective and connect them to each other mentally. And again, it's very nice, and also has this a lovely art style, very a little bit Tim Burton-esque, and a little bit it feels like cozy horror. I would call this, and I cannot recommend it enough. And Lady Miscliff says, I founded a game company but have yet to complete anything. Finishing games is hard. No one tells you that finishing games is hard, right? Making games is easy. I start a new one every day. That's the thing. But finishing, I know what you mean. I've said this now like 3, 4, 5 times now. My text game that I made, specifically a text game, because you cannot over polish a text game, spoiler alert, you can, is waiting to hit beta. It's 2 weeks away from beta since March, and we're still there. And again, this week I got somewhat distracted and we're still 2 weeks away from beta. I know, it's finishing is hard. Youngwon says, was nice hanging out. It's late, so have a good night and a good stream. Again, thank you for dropping by, for being an amazing artist, for the raid, of course, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And again, as always, I wish you the blockiest pixels and have a great time. Thank you. Thanks again for the shout. As always, you're welcome. Kersey says, Phil inspired me to get back into game dev, and I finally recently got a drawing tablet too. Drawing tablet, that's it feels like a drawing tablet is a bit like the crack of game dev, because suddenly it feels like all the pixel pushing, or when you just want to quickly sketch something out with a drawing tablet, you're very, very fast, and it's a lot of fun, especially once you draw with and have the pressure sensitivity in tools like Krita or Photoshop. You realize, oh my god, this is so much fun just doing shading and drawing there, because your best friend is Control Z, right? You can always undo it, and this I feel it once I got the drawing tablet, it was I was taken by the bug that is game dev. I have so many game prototypes. if only I get even to the prototypes. I'm still in the idea phase and I have this ongoing document that is probably 1,000 screen pages long at this point of just game ideas. And I started putting in hashtags, hopefully so that at some point I can start to, I don't know, filter them for something. I even run, some of you know, I run my personal media wiki where I try to organize everything that I've learned over the years. So this is a pro tip if you have a big project like my Pixel Prophecy thing. It's good to have everything in one place, and it probably isn't Google Docs is probably not the right place. Over the years I've grown a big fan of self-hosting and self-containing everything. I'm one of these weird people who fire up a notepad and start when they want to make a web page, and I don't install Phaser or Docker or anything else. I just open up Notepad and type out HTML, closing tag, head, body, there we go, H1, and this is how I make my websites. And I start from there, then PHP and so on. But the good thing about this is I feel like I have everything then contained in one place, in a place that I own. And again, if you with the media wiki, it's the same thing. So I know where the database sits, and should things really start to, I don't know, something bad happens, I know where this is. I have backups, and it's not like when Google decides, for example, to delete my account from one day to the next, there is nothing that I can do about it or get it back. So yeah, I think from my learnings from this, can already say, is document everything, especially for yourself, and especially when you do things that you normally don't do or do differently. This pertains to video making, but also to programming, in general, everything where you do something every day and then you do differently one day because reason X, write it down what the reason is why you did it differently, because otherwise the next time you come across this passage in your code, in your script, in your daily routine, you feel like that's wrong. I do it differently every day, because after 2 weeks you've forgotten why you put it in there. I know this is very specific, but this is my probably not number one learning. Your text game has pictures, right? That's the thing with my text game. I just want to make a text game draws pictures. Yeah, I already lost at making a text game. And Kersey, lady says, any pictures of what you're working on? Yes, of course, if you have, please, the patrons of Pixel Prophecy have access to the wonderful Pixel Prophecy Discord, and we have there a channel for projects and whatever. So if you have anything, Frank is programming now a chess game, right? A chess engine. Again, just for shits and giggles. So again, please share it. It's always so amazing to learn what people are working on. Jirji is also here. Hello there. Thank you for making it. Cheers to you. Jirji has also been a long time supporter and watcher of Pixel Prophecy. And if you are into very well crafted 2D puzzle games and jump and run games, check out Jirji's Ludum Dare games, because there are so many great fun little experiences there. I always say, Jirji, you should put out a compilation and just sell it on Steam for, I don't know, for $5, $10, because all your Ludum Dare games are already these kind of great little experiences. And also thank you for feeding the automated unicorn. Funny story, says Lady Misleaf. My original OC character was based off the Trunks in looks and was Vegeta's half-sister. I have no idea what we're talking about now. Oh dear. But apparently Kersey knows what's going on. So again, I would say I'm somewhat well versed with many fandoms, but I have no idea what we're talking about right now. So please bear with me. Please do not unsubscribe. Please don't. Oh, you've never watched Dragon Ball Z, Phil? Indeed, I have not watched it because I'm not a big fan of dragons. Yeah, the joke is I think Dragon Ball Z doesn't have that much to do with dragons. But no, but I think Connie has all the manga we have all the manga in a library. It's like lots and lots and lots of them. And as with many things, it's like the proverbial wine cellar. It's not your pile of shame. It's the wine cellar where you go and browse at your leisure, and if something fits the current mood. And yeah, it's not a pile of shame. It's also not the stack of unread books. No. Don't think of this like this. And this is why I haven't gotten to it. But so now I know at least which fandom this is. Thank you. Read my message above, Phil, says Chrissy Boo. Oh, no pics yet, but I got trunks from DBZ. DBZ, all right. So this is database 0. Of course I know everything. Yeah, thank you, Kirsty. This makes sense. Maybe I could share on Discord later. Yeah, please share. Please share. And also some context for old Phil, who's completely out of the loop. Am I wrong, or is it the kids? No, it must be the kids who are wrong. So yeah, I've teased at something, and let me see what is on my set list. Where is my set list? Yeah, this is good old Pixel Prophecy. It's not a technical difficulty. There it is. It was under my keyboard. My set list of things that I don't forget anything, because I'm a little bit scatterbrained, you might have noticed. So we've looked at the fan art, and I think it's time. Is anyone of you more interested in a sneak peek of Ludum Dare 42? Also showing some film noir bits already. It's of course not final quality. This is just the in-production quality, but it already sounds like, for the most part, like it should sound. The editing is pretty much finished of these parts, at least. Or are you interested in Ludum Dare, what was it, 48, the Decentris game, the reverse Tetris, essentially, that I made? Because, again, different projects in different stages of production, and I feel like, again, I want to use the opportunity to share something with you. Yeji says, the thing with publishing jam games on Steam is you cannot give them the same state you submitted them to the jam. You need to polish it and fix errors and add more content, and then new ideas how to make it better start to flow, and it's never ending loop. I know exactly what you mean. Especially when I say, yeah, just make a bundle out of them. And in practice, it means maybe you need a menu so you can select the different games. But if you have a menu and every game looks different, well, maybe you want to streamline the menus and then the UI. And since you're in the code, maybe you want to add something for people when they have, I don't know, 18:1 screen aspect ratios, or maybe it crashes on the Steam Deck, and suddenly, as you say, it's this huge thing all of a sudden, and it's not just put it on Steam and you're good. Yeah, I should have thought it through before I said this. Exactly. Okay, Kirsty says I'd vote LD42's 42 first. A good prince says sneak peek, please. Chronological order, says Frank. Probably. In this case, LD42 it is. So, where do I have my videos here? Yes, we have the sneak peek of LD42. I've already posted a sneak peek in one of my, I think, code reviews or previous recorded stream videos. And it's this bit, but with a little bit longer. Let's leave it at this. So I hope you get to enjoy this one, and I'm thinking right now I'm super on the spot, because I will be deactivating the music that's running in the background. So enjoy this. Hi, it's me. Do you have audio? Because I'm not sure if you can hear this. It doesn't look like there is audio going on. So please let me know if you just heard something. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense. No audio. Okay, see, that's the thing. Thank you for reminding me. And I will try now again, and to see if there is. There we go. We have the wrong audio desktop source. There we go. Okay, all good. So I will give you the full cinematic experience with full screen. There we go, and I mute myself now, so hopefully this should be much better. Okay, now we try it again. The days and weeks before had been exhausting, as I had worked my butt off to free the weekend and 2 days to recover of any other concerns. On the afternoon of the jam day, I wanted to chill in one of my favorite cafes, but I was having a bad time, throbbing headaches and feeling tired despite the gallons of coffee. Or maybe because of it. The writing had been on the wall, and I had decided to ignore it. That time, the jam would start 3 hours earlier than usual, an experiment especially us European jammers benefited from. Unless your sleeping cycle is as messed up as mine. As the clock struck midnight, the theme got announced. Running out of space. Of course, I hated it.
Okay.
Not as much as some others before it, though. Yet again, it felt just too Ludum Dare-y. I don't know. As dictated by tradition, following the announcement was vomiting out ideas into my text editor. There were a few mildly amusing contenders, but not the one among them, that divine concept with the potential to blossom into something outstanding. So I kept looking and storming my brain, and researching, and losing myself in it again. I ended up watching a little bit of Kick's gameplay, and a large bit of Zillion. Until my bad conscience overwhelmed my apparent need for procrastination. I hadn't found any lead on Ignacio idea that night. How could I? He was as elusive as his reputation. I decided to continue my search at the bottom of my glass and then call it a night. I had dealt with inspiration before. If anyone would know idea, inspiration would be my best bet. And I felt like taking a gamble. Yes, this was a part of LD42, and you've already seen the character there that we have of the detective that is Pixel Prophecy, but the noir detective. And in the postmortem, the idea is that I juxtapose what is happening in the postmortem with this tale of someone who's getting something in over his head and just continuously gets deeper and deeper into the bad part of it. And you might have noticed there is a very subtle analogy by calling characters idea and inspiration and so on. So yeah, this is not the beginning part of it, but it is somewhat in the first quarter of the postmortem. So, and this scene has already been finished with the green screen and everything, so I'm quite happy with how it turned out. And I mean, I could have showed you a different scene that sets everything up, but on one hand, I want to keep it as a spoiler, somewhat spoiler free, and the other thing is it still has a lot of green screen and things that need to be done with it. And again, it's not finished. That's the thing. So I'm glad from your reactions. I see that you're looking forward to it. So okay, the rest. Film noir. My God, That's so good. I just realized I should have done this. Oh yeah, and there's music in the background. I forgot as well. Tudvari says, I don't know why, but these postmortems always make me realize that I should be much happier about the fact that I can make games. And Jerem says, I love it so much, but it's gone now. And Tudvari says, it's like the parents teasing you about Christmas in April. Oh, yeah. Now that you... From judging from your reaction, I realize that is super cruel because I still need to shoot a scene for this, which will happen next week. And you know what? Maybe I can. Let's see if I can show you something about this scene that I'm going to shoot, because I've said this before. I started a scene, needed to reshoot something, but as is apparent from the locality in the postmortem, I don't have access to it because we moved away, and there is no way that I can get back in there and say, you know what, I need to film a scene there in the basement. I need to put like 4 lights there and we'll spend like 5 hours in the basement. And the thing with the basement there in our previous flat where we lived, it's not like something where no one else goes, because this is essentially it's just a connection between various living units and the parking garage. So this is why I usually shot at night there, because the chances of someone going back and forth there or just passing randomly are very, very slim. And of course I cannot block the doors because people need to get to their houses or their cars whenever they please. So again, it's not possible to film there, but I'm somewhat, you know me, resourceful in a way. And what I did was I took pictures of the background of the individual close-up shots. And this is here a video of our studio that is downstairs in the basement. And you can see I have the background of the shots printed out on posters. The books on top of it are right now just to keep it, to straighten it out, because it has still this little bend to it because it was rolled up. So the idea is so that I don't have to use green screen, because I already know what the background is going to be for this. So that I can save myself some work and can do the bit there, because again, it's a dialogue scene and I probably need, knowing myself, 100 takes, well, let's say 50 takes or so. So this is the idea or the inspiration. Yeah, all characters that you will meet at some point. Is there a script/idea for the Tiny Creatures jam, says Jerem. What is the Tiny Creatures jam? Oh, did we have the Tiny Creatures? Because I don't think I did all not all postmortems, all Ludum Dare jams, because with some Ludum Dare jams I skipped them, but if they happened, usually when I partook, yeah, that's the right word, there is footage of it. So I still recorded with multiple angles, everything, or at least big portions of what the interesting parts of Gamedev, because this is one thing when you do this series of post-mortems is when you do the first one, it's super easy because you got so many interesting shots of yourself and what's happening and the keyboard and mouse clicking. And after you've done like 3 or 4, you realize, oh my god, it's always the same shots. It's how can I make someone staring at the monitor somewhat interesting, because there are only so many ways of how you can shoot yourself typing on a keyboard or clicking with a mouse. So this is when I really started doing all the little bits and trying to do illustrations just to keep things fresh. And yeah, it feels a bit like when I'm recording game jams, I try to find the bits that are different to other game jams, because like I said, typing on a keyboard, I can always reshoot should I need them. But of course, if I don't know, a very special rainbow happens at that day and I'm looking at the rainbow, of course, then I have to shoot it with the actual thing. So yeah, old school matte painting, says Andrew J. That's the thing, because I thought in the end it's also a not a commercial, but a monetary consideration, because I thought, okay, how much time am I going to spend if I want to do this to do it with green screen? Well, of course, the thing is with green screen, I have to light the green screen very, very well. That's because if you light it shit, then things just turn out even worse. So I have to light it, which takes time. When I use a poster, I also have to light it, which also takes time, but then I'm done with the green screen. The work just starts there, because when I'm on the computer, I need to pull the green screen. Sometimes it does not work, or for certain, I don't know, maybe there is a green cast or we have a slight fringe somewhere, and then it's roto time. And roto is short for rotoscoping, for those who don't know, which means essentially you just draw a path, and you do this frame by frame. You just cut out things of the image, or paint images essentially frame by frame, and you can guess how long and tedious this is. On the plus side, you have is the result is always the best. It's always better than doing green screen or anything. I mean, nowadays with the bit rate of the cameras and so on, I mean, it's green screen is now a pretty solid thing. But in the end, especially if you have something that is not perfectly lit in a controlled studio environment, or something goes wrong, maybe you just turn and you have a green reflection in your eye, suddenly your eye is gone. And all these things, again, they need special consideration. So, and compared to posters, suddenly I'm looking at doing like, let's say 10 hours, 20 hours of just post on this. And how long would it take me, or how much would I charge myself for a post work that takes 10 hours? Let's say I charge myself $10 per hour. Suddenly theoretically speaking, at €1,000 for this. Contrast this to the poster. One poster costs like, I think €35 are paid for each poster. So we're at €100 with, I don't know, shipping or any other things. I need probably a clamp to put it somewhere, maybe another light. But overall, it's much cheaper. It saves me time and work. So this is why I thought, let's do it old school. The interesting parts of Gamedev, says Cursibo, including coffee at the cafe. Yeah, that's the thing. Because I thought with my postmortems, it's not interesting when you just watch someone program. And I always felt when I watched other postmortems is the circumstances of where people make their games. What was it? It's been so long. Where I've watched this one guy who was living in a shared flat with other people, and they just dropped in and gave their ideas on something, and then you had this, and then I went out and went for dinner, and I don't know where this was. It looked so different from Middle European. I think it was somewhere in Turkey, and you just saw the street life there, and I thought, you know what, this is kind of interesting, and this again strengthened my beliefs that I think it might also be interesting to other people, and it's fun showing something else and just different angles of a screen where just some code is there. And also, as we all know, usually the ideas don't happen when you're like this in front of your screen, but when you're, I don't know, when you do the dishes, or when you're out and suddenly you see something that inspires you. And the good thing is sometimes I have this on camera, where where Connie was just filming me while I was looking at my food somewhere. And while I was looking at my food, and I realized that, you know what, I have an idea. Then I look at Connie and talk straight into the camera the idea as it's flowing. And I always, in retrospect, I always find it amazing when you can see someone, really the light bulb moment. And also with the circumstances and everything, I feel like, and apparently it's also interesting to some of you as well. So yeah, of course, even with the last postmortem, with the last Ludum Dare, there is footage of me having ice cream and drinking cafe in a different cafe that you haven't seen before, since of course we moved. And a Ghoul Prince says, your vids always have amazing production value. It's exploding head emoji. Thank you. Yeah, again, there comes the good old pixel prophecy. I'm a perfectionist and I can't help it. Or more like, I'm a perfectionist and I think I like it. That's more like it. So I've leaned into this because, as you know, or some of you know, I work as a colorist, as a video professional, and recently I did restoration work. I already talked about it. And the thing is, when I watch shows with Connie or something on YouTube, what really personally irks me, and this is really a personal fallacy to some extent, is when I see something where there is a glaring technical problem that the person didn't know about or didn't know how to fix and just made it worse. For example, it's like watching videos from what was it, the nostalgia critic, where he doesn't know how to do white balance properly, or color grading, or some technical things. And again, to a certain point, I'm still this old school film guy. It's somewhere right next to the Gamedev guy, and I also want to make it, like I said, as good as I possibly can. And over the years, somewhat, I've amassed a certain amount of experience and how things go. And again, I just want to make it real good. And where with the last one, with the East German spy thriller vlog, my idea was, I want to make an intro where it feels like this could be a Netflix documentary. And again, it was just fun trying my hand at it. And for this, I recreated, or some people would say forged, passport documents from old Eastern Germany, again down to the crest and everything, that it looks authentic. Again, it's just for enjoyment. And I'm just so glad that at the point where, when you do it, you feel like, oh my god, what am I doing here? I've spent now 2 hours recreating a passport of Eastern Germany. Why? So I can print it out and film it very, very cinematically, that I can put it in a funny YouTube video. Oh, okay, so this YouTube video is about East Germany. No, it's not. It's about me visiting the national broadcasting station because I'm playing my game there. That's the story behind it. So, and when you're in this moment where I think like, what the hell am I doing? Then you have the doubts that come in. And the good thing is that I already have some videos out there, and I already know in the end it's kind of worth it. And all these doubts transform into, oh, I can't wait to show people how this turned out. I can't wait to see their look on their faces. I cannot see their faces, not yet. But I can read it from the comments, and so with some Easter eggs or some tiny things that I put in there, and they get noticed. And again, it feels like the person noticing the Easter egg will think, you know what? Is this intentional? And yes, it is intentional. And thank you for picking this up. And again, it's mutual. And in this sense, it's a bit like Gamedev, where you as a game designer, you talk to your players through your design, through your levels, where you put a chest somewhere, and you feel like as a player, there is a chest as a reward there, but then you know it. There's a trapdoor in front of it, and suddenly with the next chest that you see in a very easily accessible space, and you walk towards it, and you go, wait a second, is this the trapdoor again? And yes, there is a trapdoor, and then you jump over it, and you feel so clever, and then there's another trapdoor, and you go, god damn it, and it is like this little conversation that you have. And again, I feel like this is the same thing with making videos, that I'm having essentially a conversation with you. I've been talking for again. I'm rambling. Kirsty says, definitely enjoy the AFK locations, right? Because it's, on one hand, it's kind of nice seeing someone's rig and setup and streaming then, but it's also nice to see their circumstances, and just again, what food people enjoy. I always learn something new when I see, okay, this, you can eat this? Oh my god, this looks delicious. And really, this is how you make it. It's like having a fresh chopped apple in your salad. At first I thought, fruit in a regular salad? Oh, that's preposterous. And things like this, I would have never realized that, yeah, this is really good. So again, all these little things that add up to. And Adam is here. Hello there. Thank you so much for dropping by. It's hi. And the Gold Prince says, I need to go to play Night Rain now, of course. You're excused. Please have a good rest of a stream, and thank you again for the gifted sub. And thank you, Phil, for amazing work. Here's for the next 10 years. Yes, absolutely. Cheers to 10 more years already. I say I'm still going to stream, but if you're leaving anytime soon, no hard feelings. If you've just been lurking, no hard feelings. Again, I'm just so glad that you share this moment with me. So cheers to you also, Java McBeans, Ashley the Unicoding Unicorn, and Runaway Curly the Runaway Bracket. All say thank you. Jerem says, yeah man, when you see people smiling playing your game, it's the best feeling. Exactly. And the worst feeling is when you watch people play your game and they play it like this, and you think like, oh my god, they hate it. And then they put the controller aside and they say, this was the most fun experience I've had the entire week. And you think, oh God, okay, thank you. And sometimes you just see people enjoying your game like this, playing it like this. And you watch what's going on the screen, you think like, oh my God, they're not getting it. They're using the wrong abilities. How? I cannot tell them, but that's the worst part. When you see someone enjoying what you have as a game, but they're doing it wrong, not because they want to do it wrong or they're too stupid. It's never the player. It's usually the guidance of the player. You never told them that the shoulder buttons do anything, and they just run around and think, oh, this is a nice level. It's an exploration level, right? And you go like, no, the shoulder buttons, you should use the grappling hook. Oh dear, I've never said this. This is the other part, the other fun part of game dev. Again, it's the conversation on so many levels going on. Right, so I have here, we've seen the sneak peek to LD42. Then yes, my patrons at a certain tier already know it and already have it. As you know, there is a lot of music in my postmortems, and I've heard that some people say it's nice coding music in the background. So if you want these kind of tracks, everything I have is on Bandcamp. So there is one album on Bandcamp. Let me quickly find this and post it. Bandcamp.com, and then share my screen with you. There we go. So there is this big thing here that is Pixel Prophecies, Ludum Dare, Postmortems. And with this one here, I want to click it. I clicked it. There's nothing else I can do. There we go. And you can see here it has over 100 tracks now. So from all postmortems that have been published, any music that you hear in these postmortems is in there, and it's sorted by postmortem. So it's chronologically sorted. I think also in order of appearance, essentially. So my patrons already have the code to this, but if you're interested in something like this, I have a couple of gift codes that I can give out. So if there aren't any more than 5 of you who want this, I can assure you a code. Otherwise we have to do, I don't know, a draw or something, because for that I have some dice. So if any of you is interested in this, over the course of this stream I will collect your username, and then we will just roll the dice, and if your number comes up, congratulations. Like I said, only if it's more than 5 people who are interested in it, because I got 5 codes to give away. So again, please let me know if you're interested in this. I don't know how, just write it in the chat. We don't need a special comment. There are 16 viewers, so I will manage to sort through it. Frank says, if you write music for a postmortem, should the genre be listed as undead? Interesting question. I mean, it's a post-mortem, and which means after death. So it's not dead anymore, the genre? That's a good question, because it's not cinematic, it's not a documentary. Well, it kind of is, but good question. Lady Misleaf says, Phil, help me, I feel old. Oh no, what can I do? The trick is drink a cup of unicorn blood once a week, exercise, and try to follow what's going on Fortnite. I think those are the 3 things that you can take. I do 2 of them, and only one of them I made up. Yes, it's Fortnite. I have no idea what's going on with Fortnite. You're still young, exactly. We're all. The question is, what means old? I think you know that you're old is when you constantly talk about feeling old, right? Jerem says free stuff. Yeah, it's free stuff. You can redeem it on Bandcamp.yum. YUM. I will leave this open. So if I give you a code, I will post this again, and then you can redeem it. So I will either collect a couple of names or just give them out. So, and afterwards, after the stream, the idea is that I can just send it to you via message or something. Kirsty says, I got the LD music already. Can recommend it to anyone watching who doesn't have it yet. Oh, thank you, Kirsty Boo. Thank you. I mean, with some tracks, I wouldn't say they are hit or miss. It's with some tracks they're more meant as hero tracks, where it's like, yeah, there's a melody to it, and other tracks are more like ambient that run in the background. And other tracks are building to a certain climax, and then they just peter out. So I would say it's like a box of chocolates. So you never know what you get. And stylistically, it's pretty much electronic, but also, I think I have a little bossa nova in there as well. Some chiptunes are in there. So overall, I mean, you can listen to the entire thing for free on Bandcamp anyway. So this is not restricted. Just if you want to download it and have high quality FLAC files, that's the thing. So if you want to archive it and copy it somewhat around, yeah, I don't care. Either I'm even happy if you want to. So, right. Lady Misliff says, I got the new computer and had to put in the video card. The card alone is bigger than the CPU/heatsink and RAM combined. I remember old PCI video cards that were just literally a small circuit board. Sorry, graphics card. Yeah. Was it a 2D or a 3D accelerator card? Yeah, I know what you mean when you have like this bar. And the good thing is, I mean, it's much bigger than your computer, but it also probably costs as much as the rest of your computer. I know exactly what you mean. The first 3D accelerator cards were like the Voodoo cards, if some of you remember. Yeah, and again, the card that I currently have, the GPU in this machine, again, there is a video in production, but it has a little stand that holds it in place because the thing is so heavy, so that it doesn't wear too much on the slot that it sticks in. It's kind of ridiculous. It's really a plastic clamp that, yeah, is support for this thing. Yeah, I know what you mean with I feel old. Have you seen 90 silicon graphics cards? They were bigger, says Frank. Oh, I think I know what you mean. Where they're like, it feels like they're half a meter by half a meter, and it's just RAM and circuit boards, and you have a couple of them slotted one after the other, right? Yoshi says, awesome music for setting proper Ludum Dare mood. I always listen to it on the Friday before. Yeah, that's of course because this is instant game dev mood. So I've heard some people say it's like watching the postmortems, but without watching the postmortems, which I didn't really understand until they elaborated and said, yeah, when you watch a postmortem, you're watching it. At some point, you just maybe get drawn in, and then you're just watching it. But if you want to get work done or coding, it's not really helpful. Maybe you're even doing a game jam, so it's not really. You can't just watch postmortems. So instead, you just put on the music and are in the inspiration. You still hopefully get the inspiration from the video, but it's just instant without distracting from coding. So, and I would say, you know what? I will steal this, and I tell people exactly that. Do we have the permission to play the music in the background of our streams? Oh, good. Thank you for asking. Yes, you do. The only thing is that if you put it, let's say, in a commercial project like a game or something, then I would say, yeah, we have to talk. But essentially, it means just, yeah, I want attribution, and that's it. So the only thing that I don't want, of course, is that you either sell it or put your own name to it or anything. But if you do remixes or want to have it in the background of your stream playing, please, of course, I'd be happy to. I'd be honored. So yeah, permission granted. Carry on. Frank says the LD41 keynote usually costs me a few hours because I also have to rewatch the making of. Yes, you know what? The making of is the funny thing is I even myself somewhat prone to falling into this particular rabbit hole. So for those who don't know it, YouTube.com Pixel Prophecy. For Ludum Dare 41, I made this keynote. Mike asked me to do a keynote, and I went a little bit overboard with it. So there is even a making of the making of the making of. So yeah, this is the LD41 keynote. I will post it there. Usually I tried my videos to be without commercials. So usually they should start. If you see an ad on there, I did not place them because I realized I hate to a very visceral degree. I hate when I want to watch a video and there's just like 3 ads in front of it where all you want is like one sentence of information. So I tried to unmonetize all my videos because I get my support from Patreon and selling my designs online. So yeah, I decided to forego with all the ad revenue, which was like €5 a year or something. So right. So if you want to, if you don't know this, essentially it's about inspiration and how to get inspired before a jam. And this also has an introduction of a character that we have come to know and love, but yeah, that is Future Phil. And again, it's probably one of my, I would say, best videos in a sense of just writing and production and also acting, quote unquote. So if you don't know it, I'm quite happy with how this turned out. And because it was such a big amount of work when I still had the time to do this, I thought I'd make a not a post-mortem, a making of to it, so that I just mostly for myself that I know how I made this and document it. And you can see it here. It's a 5-parter, I think, where just the inspiration to it, then making the costumes and props, how I shot it, then the post-production, visual effects, and finally making audio and sound. So you can see here, this is, I think, 11 minutes, 16 minutes, 18 minutes, and 20 minutes. So I know what you mean, because even for myself, I find this is surprisingly well produced. So again, thank you for rewatching these things. The LD keynote says, Andrew JK is how I find your channel. Oh, thank you. I'm just glad that you're still around after 7 years. My God, 7 years. And yeah, also the other videos. Again, I don't know if this is somewhat vanity, but sometimes I just like to go back and watch some of my older videos. And the good thing is, with all videos, really with almost all videos, I find things where I feel like, oh, you know what, I probably would have done this better today. So the good thing is there is still development in there, in good old Pixel Phil. And my first video from 10 years ago was Pony, a Ludum Dare time lapse, and this was published, 10 years ago on August 25th. So this was 5 days ago, 10 years ago in 2015. And the funny thing is, we already started with technical difficulties, because here after 5 minutes, I have forgot to record time lapse on day 2. Oh no. Yeah, things have gotten better from here. But again, who would have thought that from this little thing, something like the entire Pixel Property community would blossom. Again, I'm just so grateful for you, for watching, for posting, for sharing, for just being here, for chatting. Like I say, with all streams, I think with every stream, just interacting with you, I learned something new. And today I've learned about Dragon Ball Z, for example, which I've heard is this like Fortnite just on paper. I think, it's one of what the younglings play or read nowadays. Oh, Commander Stitch is here. Thank you so much. Kirsty called it a modern classic, and Yuri called it the best LD keynote, not even close. I mean, it was so much work. I realized it after I was halfway in it. It was one of these moments where I was jumping in front of a green screen in our living room, and I thought, okay, if I do not finish this, it was all this thing was just a peculiar little, I don't know, quirk of my personality, where I just jump around in front of green screens just for my own leisure. So I have to finish it and put it out. And again, I'm just so glad that I did. But while you're doing it and things aren't working as planned, you think to yourself, you know what, I should have just shot a selfie and talked about that. Yeah, start early, have lots of water, and enjoy the jam or something. But I don't want to, sounds like I want to badmouth these kinds of keynotes, because in the end, a keynote is just to get you inspired. And I mean, this is how I know to get people inspired. Some people just have this amazing talent where all they need is a phone, not even a good background or lighting or anything, and just from their content and what they say and how they say it and their demeanor, it's like Bob Ross, right? And Funky Pants, Krista Kaitila, I think his name is, comes to mind, where it's just like, the Bob Ross of Gamedev. And yeah, I want to be there, but I can't. So this is, I do lots of bells and whistles to make it hopefully as inspiring as well. Yoshi says, others were not even close. I'm not sure if it doesn't have different meaning than intended. Yeah, I know what you mean, but thank you. And yeah, Commander Stitch says, happy 10 years, Mr. Phil, Sir Prophecy, Pixel, Masterman, and I thank you kindly and again with lots of gratitude from the very deep bottom of my heart. I don't even have to dig deep to find lots of love in return. Again, thank you, Commander Stitch. And did you just join because then you missed a sneak peek of Ludum Dare 42? If you did, no worries. This will be a VOD. I will put it up on YouTube after the fact. So if people are interested, they can watch it in 10 years, probably. Frank says, to be fair, you are future Phil, so you need to collect experience in order to mentor your earlier self for the keynote. And what better way to do that than to rewatch your postmortems? I like your way of logic there. I like how you think. So yeah, indeed, I'm becoming a future Phil, and the most important thing is to use lots of moisturizer, that I don't look that much different when I'm growing older. 10 years already, says Inkdio21. Grats, thank you. Yes, it feels like, has this really been 10 years? It's like when you look at some of your old files, where you think like, yeah, this is a project I did recently, like in college or something, and then you look at the files and it says changed 27 years ago, and you go like, oh no, 20, this can't be right, the computer must be wrong about numbers. Yeah, it has been 10 years and I'm still here and I'm still enjoying it, so that's a good part. I think a couple of times very close to a burnout, and one time I was already on the brink of it, but yeah, I've grown better at finding the right balance between burning out or not. I mean, the postmortem to unstable, again, this were one of my emergency breaking points where I thought, okay, I have to change something. So after 10 years, but I feel like I'm finding a balance, or at least I'm better at managing this. So yeah. So probably 10 more years. Hi YouTube, says Cursey Boo. Is YouTube here? Apparently there is YouTube. Indeed. I don't get the hi YouTube joke, I think. I'm really sorry. Or did I say hi YouTube? Or are there any YouTubers here? I don't know what's happening. At least I just checked. At least I'm showing the correct scene. So at least this is good. Right. One thing that I have completely forgotten that I mentioned that I wanted to have. Okay, it's like, hi mom, when I'm on TV. Oh, now I get it. Hi YouTube. Thank you. Now I get it. I just thought YouTube is here. Oh my God, they are here. YouTube personally. Oh my God, I should have done my hair when YouTube is here. Oh dear. Okay, good. Saying hi to the VOD watchers. Now I get it. Thank you. I'm a little bit slow sometimes. Yes, and thank you for redeeming Unicorn Cursey Boo. I've been drinking too much coffee and too little water, so let's change this. So yeah, you're telling hi YouTube to yourself or to mom when this is a VOD. Thank you for spelling it out for you, your friend past Phil, old time Phil. So yeah, talking about different characters. I have again this little clip show of all the characters that I've came up with over the years. So if you're still here, I hope you enjoy.
Darling.
Oh, you know what? Let's make this. Let's make this full screen as it should be. There, the cinematic version.
Darling, did you come across my good trousers?
How should I know? I'm just a kid.
It is you! I! From the future! This is fine. I've emptied the etagere. Wisely, I started how I overcame my fear
I said nothing. With a map.
of trains.
I've shifted the chiffonier. Sounds like you didn't have fun this time. You perverts.
At this point, we're already a bit desperate.
And persistently picked apart the pesky Pembroke for my motherfucking pantaloons.
How?
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
The Stasi will kill for this, so I have to be vigilant.
Stick up.
I'll be waiting for you. Yes. I had lots of fun putting this together because I thought, how long can this take? I just rewatched all my postmortems in double speed, and then at halfway through I just regularly watched them and just clipped out some parts. And as some of you might have noticed, there are certain characters in there that we haven't seen officially, so I thought I include them as well for things that are to come. That laugh squeal with the reverb. Yeah, this was when the theme sucks. At a certain point you just snap, you just But I'm glad you picked up on this. See, this is what I mean when I talk about we're having this little conversation where I put something in and thought, oh my god, this is, hopefully they will gonna love it. This is so funny. And apparently InkDeo21 has the smile on their face. This again, then I'm happy. I just want to make something entertaining, hopefully inspiring as well. If you just find it stupidly funny, I'm good with that as well. Balimar the Buzzfish says, Hallo mein hübscher Freund. Thank you, Balimar, for dropping by. By the way, to translate this is hello my handsome friend. And I take it very, very personally, in the best way. Tutwari says, can't wait to like it 5 times on YouTube. That's the spirit. Yes, put your like-click farm to good use. Like this. Vote for me 10 times. Incredibly inspiring, says Jerem Watts. Thank you. Like you don't even know. Again, I don't trust it when people say. I think maybe they're just being nice. But on some, over the years, I've realized when they say my videos really inspired them, when I watch other people's videos, I think where I go like, okay, so now I'm really fired up to do something. I think this is what people want to tell me. So again, thank you for telling me, for letting me know. I'm getting better at accepting this. So yes, you know what? Since I have the video player open, and I don't know how I always have my to-do list end up, or my set list as I call it, how it always ends up underneath my keyboard. But it's like with crumbs or snacks or anything. I mean, dear. I just lifted my keyboard and really there were crumbs from a snack long forgotten there. So yeah, just proved my point. Imposter syndrome is a difficult beast. Yeah, that's the thing. I think the only people who don't have imposter syndrome I've heard are completely what's the word? Incompetent people, because they don't know how bad they are. They think they are the best at their job, and everyone knows, no, they're not. And people, if they think, am I really good at this? Is this just, oh my God, I'm not 100% certain that I know how this should be done. And usually, I mean, it always helps to have a certain amount of self-doubt, so which means you don't get, again, too self-absorbed. But again, we all know these people, right? Where we feel like, if I only had a fraction of your self-assuredness that you display every day without having anything to back it up. Yeah. That's the thing. My favorite video, says Balima, was that one where you made a Seinfeld parody at the start and the end. He knew too much. Yeah, where you look for some obscure bug that you have and you Google it and you find a solution. On page 2 of the search results, at this point we're already a bit desperate. And you find this thread from 1996. And there is one reply of the original poster, and that was, fixed it. How? So then you're on this quest to track this person down. You mean this bit? The weird thing about this bit is I had such a hard time memorizing it, and once I finally memorized it, you can tell after, what was it, 7 years, I still know most of the lines of the beats of this bit. And I need to expand my circle of colleagues and friends just in the hopes that I meet a constellation of people who all haven't heard this bit from me before, because then I can surprise them with my stand-up comedy routine. Everyone else has heard it, sometimes multiple times. My poor wife. Never look under your keyboard, says Frank. You know what? This could probably be a sticker, because you never know what lurks there. Some Lovecraftian eldritch horror, or the snack from times long forgotten, which, I mean, your guess is which is worse. So more VODs on YouTube and sticker. Don't look under your keyboard. It's probably not a good sticker. Never look under your keyboard. That's even better. Don't look under your keyboard. That's not strong enough. Never. It's forbidden. Never look under your keyboard. Thank you. Balima says, indeed, loved every moment of that. This is so nice of you, because when I look at my Kleingeld, my Seinfeld impersonation, it's not attempt, pastiche, I feel like, yeah, I'm cringing just a little bit, where I feel like I probably would have do this a little bit differently nowadays. But if you like the comedy, I mean, that is really when I just started research doing stand-up and so on, just to get this bit down, because again, it was all about this Thanks for Nothing. It was about humor and comedy. So I thought maybe I should look into stand-up comedy to give this the entire framing of stand-up. And I really got into it. And I thought, you know what, maybe I should try stand-up. And this was right before COVID. Well, not right before, but I have this book from, what's her name? It's a really good book on stand-up comedy. And essentially it says it has like 30 steps. And the first step is, you know what, you book a date when you will have an open mic night somewhere. So it's like, okay, in 2 months from now, on Saturday the 18th, I will do an open mic night there, and I will do my first comedy bit. Because she says, now you have something, some pressure, so that you really stick with it and get behind it. And this I never did. So this is why my stand-up comedy is somewhat lacking. But still, this is why I'm monkeying around with the phone right now. I have probably dozens, I would say 100 ideas for comedy bits and stand-up stuff. But yeah, maybe in one postmortem. Again, you only deserve the best. So it's not going to be this is my 2-hour Netflix special, and it's all just mediocre jokes where you feel like, yeah, in these 2 hours, maybe there's a solid 30 seconds in there somehow. Kirsty says, Philip would become a real stand-up comic just for a 10-second bit. Yeah, that's the thing. Essentially, that's the thing. And when I look at my 10-second stand-up comedy bit, I feel like, yeah, it's a bit cringy. But I mean, it worked for the bit, but yeah, that's research. I also, like I said, with the East German spy thriller, again, when I spend dozens of hours trying to recreate East German documents and hunting down the original fonts and trying to get a clean passport without anything filled out and doing the stamps myself and printing everything, it at some point it felt like, okay, it looks like I'm forging documents here, and probably I shouldn't post this too much on the socials. The good thing is I'm forging long expired things, but still it feels like, yeah, he's got a little bit too much let's say motivation behind this. This looks somewhat suspicious. He's saying it's for a YouTube video, but I mean he's putting a bit too much effort into it. So, and yeah, that's the same thing with the comedy bit and many things for research, like we've seen with the LD42, the film noir bit. I've started reading Chandler, just because I wanted to get the language down and everything. And I think I succeeded there. Then I've watched, I don't know, like 20 or 30 films noir. I played the LA noir game, so just to get the vibe right. And yeah, that's just me. That's just me. Right. So one thing, I mean, what I've gotten is recently, I'm prone to impulse purchases. Maybe I still have the photo that I can show you. I'm prone to impulse purchases, and I found something in the store the other day where I thought, this is so stupid. This is just, no, I probably will get this. And yes, you can hopefully see it here. It's Minecraft popsicles, and it's vanilla chocolate and vanilla with, I think, what is it, blueberry with mini billas. Oh, it's blue Crispies. So apparently the taste is just blue. And I thought it's a celebration. I probably should have some of this on stream, I thought. And I mean, I could fetch it right now, but yeah, maybe not. Maybe later, maybe not. I'm not sure. Balima says, second favorite video of mine, it's close, would be the one where future you takes you all over the place to all sorts of times and seek inspiration. Then feeling like everything you uncovered had already been done and maybe better. Yeah, that's the LD41 keynote. Subtitle inspiration. Yeah, like I said, it's, I think, probably my most favorite video of mine because it combines everything: the writing, the acting, the post-production, and it has a nice little message as well. And I always feel like I will never make something as involved as this, and then I'm looking at the LD42 and think like, okay, this probably is going probably one-upping everything. ASMR Popsicle SFX stream could be good Foley. I mean, maybe we could watch the LD48 sneak peek while I eat my popsicle in silence, so you don't have to live with snacking sounds. And Ingvar was here. Ingvar is here. Thank you, Ingvar, for dropping by. I'm just thinking about for celebration reasons of getting myself a. Those are still, by the way, if anyone is still interested in the Ludum Dare soundtrack and has not told me yet, please tell me. Like I said, I have five keys for it. Why you gotta mute the good stuff? Okay, that's. I mean, maybe I will eat a popsicle on my Pixel Prophecies OnlyFans account. But you know what? Since I've been talking so much about freaking popsicles. Yeah, popsicle and sneak peek. All right, and then I'll be back in a second.
I've made it, and I am right on time to wish you and everyone a wonderful celebration to Pixel Prophecies 27th anniversary. It feels like it was yesterday. Well, perhaps it was yesterday. Anyway, we've come a long way since the first postmortem to pressure run right up until the grand Hollywood premiere of Ludum Dare 42 last week. And it wouldn't have been possible without you, without all of you. So thank you for supporting me for all these years and being the amazing, wonderful people that you are. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And that's my stomach. Yeah, anyway, cheers. Oh, fiddlesticks. Looks like Ashley got to the coffee again. Now she'll be up all night playing retro games. You know, like GTA 6 and Half-Life 3. I'm late anyway. I'm partaking in Ludum Dare 99, and I still need to compile my game for the second time. Yeah, the first time was a little rough. Anyway, I wish you a wonderful week, a wonderful year, a wonderful decade, and I will see you in the future. Toodles!
So here we are. The packaging is. Why is my seat still warm? Anyway, so the packaging is really nothing to phone home about, but yeah, let's do the unwrapping of something that it looked so much better on the packaging. Oh dear. Oh dear. I mean, look at it. It looks a little bit like the SpongeBob popsicle that you would get that just looks like a sad square. So, what have I missed? The popsicle was a bit, I got played. Oh, wait, before you go, when does Half-Life 3 come out? I don't know, probably will take a couple of years. Hopefully it's going to be good. Time traveling live on stream. Oh, thank you, Yerji. Trying to get an answer out of future, feel optimistic. Yeah, he still owes me coffee. I have the feeling he's avoiding me. This still is my favorite piece of music, says Ingvar. Oh, thank you. It's a complete. I wouldn't say a rip-off. I will go with pastiche of Alan Silvestri's music. While you were gone, there was a visitor. Oh, the unicorns, right? They're still. You know what? Let's bring the unicorns. They deserve better. And maybe I should eat this before it melts away. Okay. So the top tastes like vanilla, but gas station vanilla. You know where it feels like there's some weird additives with it that make it different. I will have a taste of the chocolate. Okay, the chocolate tastes like chocolate. And I will spare you any more mouth noises. I'm really sorry, Jaren, for it. I for myself, I know I can't stand it when people snack on stream and you just hear the crunching and everything. So yeah, Ashley will probably tell you who it was. Well, I mean, Ashley always looks like she knows a little bit too much. Closer to the mic though. Get us right in there, man. So what about the blue flavor? Okay, good question. So what is our favorite flavor, blue? Okay, so the blue thing, the flavor is crunchy. The color is blue, or vice versa. The color is crunchy and the flavor is blue. Apart from that, it's milky. I think it's just milky. So, right. We have another sneak peek of LD48, the Decentris game. So this is a couple of minutes in which I can eat my ice cream. Again, I'm very sorry for not eating right into the microphone, but maybe at some time I shall eat crisps way too close to the mic. Right, so we've all deserved it. And again, I feel like my ice is melting. I need to speed things up. So here we go. Music off, desktop audio on, mic off. I'll see you in a bit.
Welcome to another attempt at creating a game from scratch in 48 hours. As you probably know from my previous documentaries, it's never easy. But this time it seemed I caught a break and started from a better position. I had a theme that did not suck.
I know.
A healthy sleeping rhythm, an inspired idea, no distractions, and plenty of time. Naturally, things were bound to derail at some point. This is the postmortem of my Ludum Dare 48 game, Decentris. I was very exhausted even before the jam started. My office was tidy, as was my desktop and my schedule. A few days prior, I had premiered my previous postmortem on YouTube, and there were hundreds of comments to reply to. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. As you know, I'm very vocal about my dislike of the theme. Any theme. Hell, I even had these stickers printed. themes are community submitted and chosen, though this time I decided to stay out of it. I neither submitted theme suggestions nor voted. Whatever the mudslinging mob would gravitate towards, I would enjoy blissful ignorance right up to the announcement. Also, my sleeping rhythm had changed thanks to, and I went to bed early. When the theme got announced at 3 AM local time, I already was on a dream quest to the unknown. That, of course, didn't mean that my nightly respite was free of night gaunts haunting me in my sleep. I dreamed that the theme was video is many, and that I hated it. No need for a psychoanalyst with such obvious symbolism. I needed to know how bad my day would be and went straight to Twitter. The community had agreed on deeper and deeper as the theme, and I felt not that annoyed actually. It was not great, but it was fine. Just fine. After my physical exercises, I took care of my mental health. Connie and I prepared breakfast that we would enjoy on the balcony to cherish the beautiful sunshine. So far, the jam had gone exceptionally well. Maybe I should do this more often, or maybe just have breakfast every day. When Connie had left for a lengthy walk, I engaged in work, squeezing out ideas the old way, with pen on paper. First, I sorted my conjectures by things you can go deep in. The earth, water, trouble, space, etc. and tried to come up with a line or two for each. I sketched something reminiscent of the obscure shareware game 6 Feet Under I played a lot back in '94. This was all nice and well, until I realized that I had invented Spelunky. Poorly. I hit rock bottom. Different approach. Think like a game designer. What's a fun digging mechanic? Mining blocks in Minecraft? That's not the actual appeal of Minecraft, is it? Fallout Shelter? That's more about management. Think different. Building games are fun. What could Sim Tower look like when reversed? Probably too complex. What's the simplest building game I know? Yes, Tetris. Think about it. All you do is build towers and complete lines until there's no more room. How can I invert the Tetris mechanics? Completing lines would make no sense, but avoiding obstacles, maybe?
All good, Commander Stitch, all good. Thank you for sticking with me this time. And yeah, have to go and take care of the kids. Always has precedence. Of course, this will be up on the good old YouTubes anyway, so thank you, and I need to change. here back. Okay, so you can hear me, hopefully. At least I see that we got levels. And thank you for watching this little sneak peek at LD48 for this entry. So this is 5 minutes. I think you've seen roughly a fifth, maybe not entirely sure the quarter. It depends on how long the intro animation is that Kersey praised so much. And Frank says, I'll have to go about now. So lots of lurking. Have fun the rest of the stream. All good, Frank, all good. Thank you everyone for even all of the lurkers and especially those who were active here. And as always, Frank, no worries. All good. I know how it goes. There is life outside there, despite me trying to ignore it in the inside. maybe I should look at screens more often. More, says Yerji, and Frank says, fun peek. Okay, thank you. And Kersey is looking forward to both of these. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm a little bit torn between, okay, should I clock in some more hours with Ludum Dare 42? Should I try to get Ludum Dare 48 closer to the finish line? Because that's the postmortem that is the closest to being finished. But the thing is, it's already very old. I mean, we're still talking COVID hair. You can probably have noticed that my hair grew somewhat longer for this postmortem. So the other thing is, since with the last Ludum Dare, I thought maybe I start with a small postmortem. It's maybe like 5 to 10 minutes, because last time, for those who know, I made just a simple little tool. It's essentially a pixel stacking tool. Let's call it a toy instead of a tool. A tool means it has a purpose. This one does not, but you can load your own graphics there. So I thought maybe make it just a short one that is from a current postmortem, and then finally finish an older one. The funny thing is, as I've always say, is, well, funny. It's the new ones I do in a different software than the older ones. So yeah, let's switch over. The older ones, as you know, I've been talking about Adobe a lot and a little good about Adobe. Yeah, the thing is, even here with the beast of a computer, when I was trying to export these sneak peeks, I had like 3 attempts. It took me 3 attempts because it crashed 2 times at different portions of the video for different reasons. It just crashed. And yeah, this is why I don't like that much to work on these older videos, because the tool is just not fun to work with. I also said that I tried to bring the LD42 at least over to Resolve to finish and do the color grading and so on. But the thing is, again, I'm using so much proprietary Photoshop, Adobe functions there, and After Effects compositions and so on. So yeah, this has to be a Premiere thing. So yeah, my question is, should I do a short one of the latest Ludum Dare, or should I try to get one of the older ones finished first? Again, next week next week I will be shooting for LD42 regardless, so we're all good there. Oh, by the way, since I still have the frog in my throat, as we say in German, as for the ice cream, how did it taste? Some of you might wonder. And it was very milky, it was very sweet. I think the green on top had a hint of pistachio, but maybe this is just me. When I eat something green, I feel like, oh, nice pistachio. Probably. Yeah, and the crunchy sounds, to answer your questions, maybe I can do a nice crunchy sound into the microphone, maybe even clean it up, and for someone, I don't know who wants to sample it for a game or something. But yeah, probably not today, but I'm glad that there's interest in mouth noises from yours truly. Jerem says, God, that sounds like a nightmare. Yeah, nightmare might be a too strong a word for this. But yeah, in terms of unnecessary technical difficulties, with Adobe, it always feels like they keep building on new stuff, so and just taping it on. And if something in the foundation is starting to creak, they just say more duct tape. It will hold somehow. And so this is why it's not a very fun tool to work with. The only thing that you can throw at Adobe products is more RAM, better processors, probably Also a better GPU. The thing with GPU is if you have a powerful GPU and a powerful CPU, the things don't know which, I don't know which of the things takes precedence in terms of what Adobe does, because it's just a bloody black box what their software does or how their color management works and so on. So it always feels like if you have a weak GPU, you can say, yeah, everything is on the CPU and it's fine. As soon as you have like two competing processors, I think this might be one of the reasons why it feels more unstable than it felt when I was having a rather weak graphics card compared when I was working on my notebook. But I mean, at this point, this is just the bottom line is sometimes it is not fun to work with because you don't trust the tool. But then again, I mean, when I'm done with it, I try to move away from Adobe because, fun fact, today I got a mail from Adobe and oh God. It's funny, but also somewhat sad because Adobe just congratulated me on my upcoming graduation. And apparently on their records, I'm approaching my graduation. And I don't know how this is possible because yes, in 2017, I wasn't studying in 2017. I think at some point I had a student version of their Creative Suite. But of course, after I graduated, I think I had it a year afterwards because otherwise I wouldn't be able to to have any sort of certification that I was still studying. And so, but the reason apparently is that they say, yeah, now my renewal, of course, I'm not paying the student prices anymore. And so when I got the email, I thought I was paying student prices. So now they want me to pay 78.65 euros a month. Currently, I'm paying like 66 or 68. So yeah, it's never going to be cheaper. But what they say, of course, is, but now you have AI credits for high performance AI models. And I'm like, dude, I tried your text to video creation. I ran out of credits before I got something workable. So yeah, in the end, this also a staple of Pixel Prophecy, my gripes with Adobe. Anyway. A hydrate a half hour keeps the frog away, says Cursiboo. Indeed, I should have listened more to Cursiboo. That should be a motto. Much better, yeah. MFW contemplating Windows Movie Maker. Oh, yeah. And by the way, if you're looking into editing software and open source tools, you know what? Let's make this a little bit of a recommendation hour. Or not hour, just some things from Post that I can recommend. On one hand, this is, what was it? Natron compositing. So it's this thing here. And if you look at the screenshot, and if you're familiar with Nuke, it looks like, can I make this a bit bigger? It looks like a carbon copy. If I Nuke compositing software, and maybe we can find a screenshot of it that looks somewhat current and not tries to be overly show-offy. So yeah, if we compare it roughly, it looks almost the same. And the thing is, even down to the keyboard shortcuts, it feels like coming home, so to speak. So this is for high-end compositing. I've asked around with VFX artists, and they said, yeah, the two downsides is that sometimes it can be a bit crashy. I don't know when it crashes or how much it crashes from my tests. And the other thing is that its development is very slow because they're constantly looking for experienced people. C++ programmers with image processing background, especially high-end image processing background. It's probably not something that someone has as a hobby. So that's the only downside of this. The other thing that I can warmly recommend is if you're looking for an alternative to Photoshop, maybe you've heard of Photopea, because Photopea is an online photo editor. And let's say here a new project, Facebook event page, sure. And if you're familiar with Photoshop, And if you look at it here, it looks like a carbon copy of Photoshop, because essentially that is what it is. So if you're familiar with how Photoshop works, and again, also here with the shortcuts or anything, so I can draw, I can have here my layers, I can say I want a blur, let's go with a Gaussian blur, click here. Why am I not seeing it? Did I just delete it? Anyway, so again, it even saves out PSD Photoshop files. So overall, again, it runs in your browser, and the only things that are lacking are the Photoshop 3D functions. Yeah, that's also the other thing with Natron. Nuke has 3D. It has a 3D space, like After Effects has a 3D space, which it does not. But I would assume that if you need some 3D space, you could go to Blender, which also does not cost anything. So this is, again, Photopea for people like me coming from Photoshop, probably the best thing. The only, like I said, downside or upside, depends on where you're coming from, is it runs in your browser. So of course this means the overhead in terms of performance, and I don't know how well it works with big files. But again, when I'm on the go, I'm just on my tablet, I can do thumbnails or that kind of things just on the go with all things that I'm used to. If Adobe mailed you a literal package of shit, wouldn't be that far-fetched? I would probably say, I mean, they wouldn't mail it to me because they probably would want me to subscribe to a package of shit every month. So that's the thing. And if they mail it to me, I would cover the shipping cost or shitting cost, so to speak. And then probably with some update, they would make a literal pile of shit even worse. I don't know how, but let's have them figure it out. Kirsty says, I started with WMM, Windows Movie Maker, for my first YouTube views. I mean, that's the cool thing about Windows Movie Maker, since it's there and it's not hard to use and everyone can pick it up. It's comforting low barrier of entry, and I'm always for that. Of course, we always like to joke about Windows Movie Maker because it's just so simple, but in the end, I mean, if you just want to combine a couple of clips, it's all you need to get started. If you want something more, there's Kden Live, which is a free and open source video editor. So if you're looking for something that is a bit more advanced, again, it tries to go all out here with waveform and parade and color grading, 3-way color grading tools and vector scope. But again, for editing, you don't need this. And again, it looks much like Premiere and is open source and free. So finally, after it feels like so many years we've arrived where open source tools are somewhat able to compete with at least some aspects of the commercial tools that are out there. And the good thing about this is always, if you are so inclined and knowledgeable enough, you can always peek at the code and fix things or contribute yourself, which again, and even if you don't, it doesn't cost anything. And I mean, all it costs is some hours to just try things out. So if you're looking for an alternative, then I cannot recommend it because I don't have any personal experiences with it. But from what I've heard, at least it's better than paying €78 a month to Adobe and hoping for the best. Kirsty said, I recently saw a streamer using a site called Magma for collaborative drawing in browser. Never heard of it. Like I say, I always learn something. Magma drawing. Collaborate. Oh, look at this. That's cool. This also looks a bit like Photoshop. Also here with the brushes. Yeah, again, if you're an artist, I think I've talked about this before, but let's keep this somewhat contained in terms of recommendations. Krita. I love Krita for any sort of artistic drawing and painting. Again, doesn't cost a thing. Open source, and you can make these kinds of wonderful drawings, and all the paintings in my upcoming game that is just 2 weeks away from beta. Oh God, are made with Krita, and again, it's fun, and apparently, look at this, the people look nice in their latest sprint from 2019. Well, it's been a while. So again, Krita does not cost anything. The other thing in terms of digital painting that I have is Rebel Painting. this is completely different, but this is not free, but this simulates to a surprising granularity how actual paint works, how brushes work, how palette knives work. You can see here in the brush work, this is all digital, but again, it simulates how the pigments of the ink or of the paint when you mix them, like how oil colors blend together when you apply them and so on. So if you're looking for something like this, there is Rebel out there. I paid for it, and I was somewhat I bounced a little bit off because it was just for my experience with traditional colors and traditional media. I mean, it was a little bit too sophisticated, too much. It was too much. That's what I meant to say. But you can see here from the animations here, the watercolors, really how the water dissipates on the canvas, or again with oil colors, how you have your foundation and then you keep piling on the colors. Again, if you're into this, you will have a field day with this one. And I Like Sci-Fi is back in action. Oh wow, you're still streaming. Yeah, for a bit. Right, and Jerem says, actually, I've been using Blender for videos recently. Yeah, that's another thing with Blender. Compositing is a thing. I've tried to look into it, as you can see here from the already visited Blender documentation. The thing is, personally, as I Like Sci-Fi, we've been brought up on Maya. Well, actually, I was using Corel 3D and then Studio Max and then Maya. But Blender feels, again, to me so completely out of what I'm used to when I'm doing 3D. So at some point, I will probably have to look into Blender just because I'm paying annually for Maya as well, and I hardly use it for anything. So I either should use Maya much more, make more 3D models of I don't know anything and sell them. I still have a couple of 3D models on sale, but yeah, no one buys 3D models anymore. Anyway, Blender feels just so out of what I'm used to. But I've looked into Blender's compositing before I came across Natron. So again, Blender, it's in active development and has come such a long way since the last time I've seen it. So yeah, I also can very much recommend Blender. Oh boy, says I Like Sci-Fi, Maya, the good day, I guess. Yeah, the good day, singular. Blender, says Jerem, takes Python code too, which really opens up what you can accomplish. Yeah, the other recommendation that I have when you're not looking for something to edit that is like Kden Live, that is completely open source and completely free. What I've been using at work and also for my personal projects is DaVinci Resolve, which has two options. So there are two different kinds of, there is the studio version and the regular version. The studio version is the one that you pay for. I mean, it doesn't cost a lot, but probably $300 will set you back still if you're not used to these kinds of post-production software. The cool thing is, well, I got it back then for $1,000 and I thought, oh my God, it's never going to be get any cheaper. The cool thing is it's really a pay once. I have from Resolve, I got this little dongle that is exactly what you think it is, how software was distributed back then. This is essentially a key. You have to plug it in your USB port, and this unlocks DaVinci. It really still works like this. And yeah, But the free version is, I would say, fully featured. The only things that you cannot use is advanced denoising or stereo 3D compositings, or I think, 4K resolutions, that sort of thing. But if you don't need this, then the free version is, I mean, you can do editing, you can do color grading, you can do compositing here with Fusion. Yes, this is inside Resolve. You can have there your 3D models, and as you see, compositing things, which is again kind of amazing when you think that this started out as a color grading software. Then you have Fairlight, which you can do use for audio mixing, and it's not just make this a little bit louder and this sound a little bit quieter, but you can As you can see here, this has unlimited number of audio tracks, and you can, with the right license, you can even do Dolby Atmos mixing, which is something that we do at work. If you work with other people, there is the cloud version of this, where you can have shared projects where, for example, one person is doing color grading while the other is still working on the edit, and so on. So again, if you're looking for something more advanced, maybe Resolve is your thing. The downside, of course, is when I started out with, I thought, oh God, I have no idea, because how this works, how editing works. In the end, editing is always, you have a timeline, you plop clips on the timeline, and then you move them around. But the thing is, because this also has Fairlight, which is the audio engine, and color grading, and Fusion, which is compositing, it might be a little bit obtuse to get into. I mean, there are plenty of tutorials out there, but the funny thing is, the PDF of the manual is like, I think at this point now, 1,500 pages long. So yeah, there's a lot in there. But again, if you want to start out with something that is very pro, and again, also with color grading, I use this to grade feature films on. So yeah. Right, what else have I missed? What I meant to say is, and also Resolve you can code it up with Python. And again, if you have a pipeline, and then you can spin things around. Blender to Resolve, Python, you can automate things to your heart's delight. Kersey says ice cream, and the automated unicorn crunched the ice cream, or munched the ice cream. Andrew says Fusion is pretty good. I find it nicer to use than Natron, at least back when Fusion was its own standalone program. Yeah, the thing with Fusion, personally, I'm a Nuke guy, and to me Fusion always felt like it's like Nuke, but with this sound, where it felt so counterintuitive in so many ways. I use Fusion at work to do some sky replacement sometimes, or 3D tracking, where you want to put certain objects in there. For example, if you have, a beautiful mountainscape where someone is running down with their mountain bike, and in the background is a super ugly trash can. This is what I use 3D compositing for, so I can just do a patch in 3D space that follows the camera movement to patch out the trash can, for example. But again, I feel more at home with Nuke, and that is Natron. But again, I haven't used Natron in production so far. But in the end, it always comes down to what is your personal preference. And again, the cool thing is that you have Fusion inside of Resolve, which again, there's the free version of it, and you can do editing and audio with it, which is kind of cool. Tutvari says, good night, guys. Gotta go to have some sleep. Happy 10 years. Again, thank you, Tutvari. And I hope I see you next week. And yeah, have wonderful dreams. Again, thank you for the wishes. And yeah, sleep tight, little prince. I like sci-fi says, Nuke Fusion, I get Fallout vibes here. Love it. Yeah, the good old days. I like sci-fi. Do you remember what the 3D engine or game engine that they tried to teach us was? Which it was not Unity, it was before that. It was something French, and I always joke about it, that it was so horrible because it felt so French. You click an icon, it's like a waiter that has you wait 40 minutes to get back to you. Virtuals, that's the thing. Thank you. I've been racking my brains to find Virtuals software. What a horrible thing. No, it's not virtual software, it's Virtuals software. Yeah. Virtuals. It's on the Internet Archive, because I don't think it's being in use anymore. Because again, it was rude. If software could be rude, then Virtuals was rude. And I think we even had tested exams in Virtuals, right? Where we had to do, a test scene or import a 3D object. My God, it was horrible. It was really, really French. Apparently, to some extent, it exists, but I wouldn't recommend it anyway. A first glimpse towards game engines. Yeah, but I feel like what Virtuals did, so many things you didn't see anywhere else. I mean, even the asset management was just not asset. Again, since I'm talking bad about software. Right, I think there was one more open source software. Of course, Audacity. Audacity. For those who don't know, if you're into audio editing with Audacity, in the last versions, they really stepped up their game, and it turns 25 years old. Well, it's older than Pixel Prophecy. Well, let that sink in. That's very old software. And again, I use it often to do my audio editing, especially if it has some like conversions or something done really quick. I use other software that I pay for in the meantime. But in terms of free software, I mean, it's kind of neat what you can do with Audacity at this point. Also, you can load lots of plugins and VST, virtual instruments. There are many sites with free VSTs like filters or even instruments. Pretty much anything that you could think of. So if you're looking for audio stuff and cleaning up audio, I can recommend Audacity because it has been part of my workflow for, again, also decades now. Right, and oh, this is nice. Thank you, Alex Hi-Fi, who wrote me just in German on our private chat and just commented on how quickly I can talk in English. Yeah, the reason for this is I've been having lots of coffee, and now I've been talking for 2.5 hours, so I'm really into it now. So thank you. The audacity, indeed, the audacity. Yeah, this is the other thing that I've learned over 10 years of Pixel Prophecy. Streaming, right? On one hand, the first time with streaming, it felt really weird and strange because someone likened it to like you're having a presentation in front of class. So it was one of those things, especially in the Austrian equivalent of high school, that the worst thing was to hold a presentation in front of class. I had some friends who knew that, okay, in 3 weeks I have to hold a presentation. I think I'm gonna vomit and I won't be able to sleep, and maybe I will call in sick, or maybe I will hurt myself real bad so that I don't have to hold a presentation. So yeah, public speaking essentially. And the fear of public speaking, I think every one of us has, and streaming is very good in that regard because you're talking to a crowd of people. In our case, it must be in the tens of numbers, maybe even 19 people. I mean, I can check how many it is. 18 people, my God. But you're still essentially in a very comfortable environment. So, and you can practice doing things and how to, I think with streaming, you notice I just broke off mid-sentence and started a new sentence. And this is exactly what I meant to say, that streaming taught me how not to do this anymore, to finish a thought and then start a new one or pick something up that was before. I try to do this, and with streaming it has gotten better. So you can probably guess how hard or how weird it was with me once I'm in the mood or in a very talkative, when I'm, like I say, when the train is already going and the train of thought, and I'm just jumping between different train lines. So streaming has taught me a little bit to keep things on one rail, but I think we're close to derailing anyway the later it gets. So that's I have to thank all of you for sticking with me over these years so that I've gotten better and hopefully somewhat a little bit more coherent with my ramblings and so on. And the good thing about this is sometimes at work I also have to do presentations or present what I did with color grading something. And before streaming, again, it was the good old fear of public presentations and public speaking. And thanks to streaming, especially in English, because at work our work language is English when doing presentations, because we are a very international team. And the good thing is I'm not afraid of it at all anymore. It's just like I'm a little bit nervous. I mean, I was very nervous for this 10th anniversary stream, whether someone would turn up. So again, thank you that you've all turned up. But stream really, it helped me be calm and maybe even be a little bit funny because when I hold a presentation, I switch over to streaming mode and am like this. So hopefully if some of you thought about public speaking and streaming this kind of fear, I say I'm a very introverted person, and streaming really helped me in terms with this. Also the videos, of course, I've learned to not hate hearing my own voice. And again, this is also something, especially nowadays when everything is recorded and everyone takes videos, it's very good to grow somewhat comfortable with that. Kirsty says, personal development. Yeah, indeed. Now you're a radio star. Indeed, yes. I am a radio star. I've been live on air on the radio. That was the most surreal thing. When the first time I went to the broadcasting station there, and Robert Glashüttner from Radio FM4 showed me around there, and of course there were always the speakers of the current the current radio, what was currently playing on the radio, so everyone could listen to it. It had this background noise, so that okay, if there's something quiet now, there's nothing on the air. So the Radio FM4 was constantly playing, and while we were walking through it, and Robert showed me around, I heard my own voice, because from the little promo bit that we did before, and I thought, this is so surreal. I'm hearing my own voice in the broadcasting center there in Vienna while I'm looking at the people I only hear. It's really something. So yes, I'm a radio star, and I'm not taking it back. Oh, thank you for the heart, and also the Automated Unicorn feels a sudden flash of whimsy, and I know exactly how this feels, Automated Unicorn. So I want to somewhat wrap things up. One thing that I thought might be interesting to talk about is how my process of making videos has changed over the years. And I also have, let's see here, videos. I have here some images of the pressure run postmortem, where I thought this might be interesting or funny when we compare it with how things are done, or at least in my production nowadays, because I feel like, when I think back, I'm doing postmortems like I did 10 years ago. Nothing has changed. And then I realized, well, one thing is we have a different coffee machine now, a coffee maker. When we started, you see the good old French press there. We still have it. Didn't use it in a decade. Well, probably not a decade, but for many, many years, because now we have the espresso machine, which keeps me afloat. Where is my coffee? There is my coffee. So yeah, this has changed. Of course, we've moved. And another thing that you might have noticed, apart from my wonderful goatee and the full hair that I still have some hairs left, is that I'm coding here with a keyboard on top of my keyboard. Yeah, what's the deal with that? The thing was, this was a custom built laptop. I didn't build it, but it was, I think, Alexa 5, you're still there. Maybe you remember, what was it called? E-Tech or D-Tech, which is now defunct, and they built notebooks. It was, and the model they had was so cheap. It was the keyboard. You could, the layout was bad. Then how the keys behaved was bad. And my remedy to this was really packing a full-size keyboard and putting it on top of the existing one. And I did this for years. So hopefully I don't have to do this again, since I'm using the Lenovo notebooks. But again, the layout is somewhat different. Oh yes, E or D-Tech, I remember. 20 shilling keyboards, indeed. 20 shillings, the Austrian shillings before we converted to the euro. 20 shillings, by the way, for anyone who's interested, is I think €1.50 roughly. A bit less, €1.30 or something. So it probably felt like this. Like a truck, one of the best Simpsons joke. Like a truck. Oh dear. And YNRC says, I can only stay around for a small bit, but congrats to 10 years. YNRC, thank you. I'm with everyone, even if you drop in just to say hi. I'm so grateful. So have a wonderful week, and thank you for your support over the years. It's always nice when I see familiar nicknames or familiar faces around here. Then when I look at this, of course, this is in HD, the good old HD screen. So I'm sporting now 4K HD. So my screen space real estate has upgraded, and it doesn't feel like this. It still feels like when I have much going on, 3 monitors are not enough. But what I still listen to is No Life Radio. And what is happening now? I clicked something which I did not intend to click. Anyway, good old No Life Radio still looks like it did back then after all these years. I'm not using here the dark room editor. This was my text editor before I coded up the Scully text editor. But the essential concept is the same, just distraction-free writing. And nowadays, I'm more or less converted to Notepad++ for my everyday writing. But again, for some reason, when something looks like Microsoft Word, any creativity is sucked out of me just from looking at all the unnecessary ribbons and the probably co-pilot asking me whether I want to write a cooking recipe or draft a new independence declaration or something useful like that. So this is why distraction-free writing, if you have something like this, I can very much recommend it. And the other thing is, what you can see here is a tracker. This is Fami Tracker, and they already have here apparently made some tracker music 10 years ago. I thought I started with chip music not that long ago, but apparently 10 years ago I already did chip music. The other thing that has changed is, look at this. This is Game Maker Professional Edition, but it was still Game Maker 1.4, which is again kind of cute because it has... I'm already doing a lot of coding there, but with Game Maker nowadays it's super simple where you can create an object and say, yeah, I want to code everything. Back with the first Game Maker, you had with every object, since it was more like drag and drop and very mouse user interfacey focused, you had to first drop for each event, like, okay, an object is being created. Let's make a script event, or in the create event, let's have a script. An object is updated every frame. Well, in every step, let's have a script event. And when the object is destroyed or drawn, let's have a script event. So for this, you had to have always events that call scripts. It was super cumbersome and I didn't know any better, but now looking back, I don't know how I did this back then without breaking into some sort of emergency, psychological. More classic looking Game Maker, drag and drop, very nostalgic, right? I mean, It sounds like it was so horrible, but of course when you're starting out, this drag and drop of Game Maker, this was really what got me more or less seriously into making games, because my very first game that I made with Game Maker were in 2013, where I really set out to make my first proper game and not just noodle around with basic or something, was with Game Maker. And I started, as you do with drag and drop and tutorials, and think, okay, if something is colliding there, then this happens. And the cool thing about that I really liked about Game Maker was that with certain events, you can just say, okay, and if this case happens, that you just drag and drop, then call a script or just run this one line of code. And gradually, you really started to do things that takes you like 5 minutes just dragging and dropping things around. When you type it out, it just takes you half a minute. And then you can, I can have here my variables that I use just for this case. I can reuse them there, and so on and so forth. So suddenly certain things just opened up. So this was a super mind-blowing revelation to me. But again, also the new Game Maker still supports drag and drop. But the good thing is it also supports where you can, when you start a new project, you can say, is this a drag and drop project or is this a code-only project? And so it doesn't matter on what level you are, it's super fun to get into it. Of course, I don't know how easy it is to get into Godot, for example, but yeah, playing with Unity, I always felt overwhelmed with Unity. No matter what I tried or when, it always felt like I'm just stretching at the surface or just swimming and paddling and barely keeping my head above water because of the entire complexity of this entire thing. I didn't know how to code, says Cursiboo. Exactly, it helped. Right? That's really the thing. It's sometimes, especially with software and specifically with tools, or just any software at all, is what is overlooked is really this onboarding process. With games we have tutorials where you start the game and gradually the game introduces things and teaches you itself. And I feel like if more software had something that is super approachable, where it essentially in the beginning says, okay, do you know anything about programming? And when you say no, then it says it's good, it's fine, I'm going to teach you. Just click here and this is how we make an if check. Or when some objects collide with another object, see, this is how programming works. And that's the thing with programming. If you do it via drag and drop or via code, essentially you're thinking exactly the same things. You just have problems that you try to divide into atoms, simple problems that are atoms. When you say, I want to make a real-time strategy game, that's a big problem. How do you do this? But if you have a multitude of small problems like, okay, I want to have, let's say, 3 units that I can move around. Okay, so a unit is something that I can click and then it moves there. And essentially it's just, okay, when I click, then the click, this thing should know that it should go there over X frames to this point. And as soon as you have this, suddenly things start to emerge where you start to think like a programmer. Okay, if the enemy is now on top of my infantry, what does happen at this point? Well, Command & Conquer says the tank crushes the enemy. And yeah, from just these if and else things, it's super easy to branch out. But as soon as if you have the thinking already in the right mindset, then it doesn't matter if you do it by drag and drop or blueprints or coding, whatever. Just what gets the job done. Click Team Fusion, heavy user here says, I like. Yes, right. I drag the hell out of everything. See, and that's enough, because all you need is understand what the problems are and how to solve them. And this sometimes I feel like this there is a bit of snobism when it comes to just, if you're a serious game developer, you code everything in, I don't know, in Emacs on Linux that only runs on command line on with a Dvorak keyboard layout and so on. So, but in the end, I mean, if it works, it works, and how you get there is secondary. I mean, of course, you don't want to make it too hard on yourself. I always say it's like, yes, you can edit an entire movie in Photoshop, but you don't want to, because it's just so much more work than using a different tool. And in the end, I just advocate for, as it goes with game making, with video editing, with pretty much anything. Don't listen to what people tell you, especially on YouTube. This is the only program, the best program, and all the pros use this. Use what helps you get to where you want to go the fastest. That's all there is. Absolutely. Okay, good. I don't know to what point you agreed, but you agreed. Yeah, here is a few of our flat, the first layout that I had with my old keyboard that was gifted from my good old grandfather. There is still there. And this monitor here, this 8-so here in front, is this monitor that I still have here. Of course, the phone is gone. I still have my fountain pen, and I still have the old retro Pixel Prophecy notepad. And here in the background, the Silver Surfer fail painting is still in progress. So the black outline, or essentially all black solids in this painting, are still missing at this point, which I found kind of funny. And of course, coffee. Still drinking lots of coffee, and I still have this mug that says "Load Coffee 8/1 ready." So for those who don't know, that is what you would type on a Commodore 64 to load a program called Coffee from your floppy disk, and then it would just say ready once it's loaded. And the print of this is completely gone. I think maybe you can see hints of blue still there, but it's nice to see this mug, the print on this mug, almost pristine there. And here we are in the Café Wernbacher, which is a cafe that I don't frequent anymore because sadly it went broke, or at least the original owners had to give it up in the aftermath of the COVID thing. And then it had some new owners, and they changed a lot there, and now I think it's more of a restaurant. Yeah, and it hasn't been the same when the coffee is different, all the waiters are different, the layout somewhat is different, and the entire vibe is different. And of course, I'm not that close to it anymore, where it's just like a 20-minute drive. So now it would take me 40 minutes just one direction. So it's a bit too far away. But again, it's nice that it's still there with their iconic cafe latte glasses. Kirsty says, but still you need to drag and drop your water cup to hydrate. Indeed I do. Really, thank you, Kirsty, for always looking out for me, not just in terms of hydrating or making sure that I'm hydrated enough, but also, as I always say, for finding bugs in my code and for just being my programming buddy when I'm live coding. You find all the bugs. You've saved hours, probably days, of just debugging work where I go, where is this? And you say missing semicolon up there, or you're checking not if A is greater than B, but if A is less than B, and these kinds of bugs. So thank you for catching this. Yeah, and the old car with the vanity plate. Yeah, vanity plates. By the way, in Austria, you pay I think 200 euros or even more for a vanity plate nowadays. So this is why I don't have one at the moment, because I don't have money to spare for pure vanity. But it's nice to still have here this old bumper sticker that reads, "Dog is my co-pilot." And people nowadays have no idea what dog is or what this is referring to. And yeah, this is this sticker I got from Valve the makers of good old Half-Life 3. And yeah, I also still have the sticker on my current car of the parking permit for Black Mesa and the parking permit for Aperture Science, which I think expires in 2008 or something, or 12. It's printed on. But I still have the dog as my co-pilot sticker, because dog is one of the robot characters in Half-Life 2. So if you know, you know. Oh, the Filmobile, says Yacht. Yes, you've been in this car. And I mean, it was super spacious. When we were shooting our college films, right? I even could have here inside a person in a wheelchair, and they didn't have to make weird contortions or anything. This was crazy. You could fit half a set in there. And look at this, the good old Ludum Dare page, how it looked before changing to, what was it, ldjam.com. So again, we still have here, Mike is still rocking the pixel chicken avatar, but apart from this, I kind of like it, how it looks. And we still have Quill 18. Do anyone remembers Quill 18 there? So many throwbacks. And as I said in the postmortem, we have our little museum of retro stuff. And in the meantime, a lot more has been added to this. But you can see already back then, I really enjoyed displaying the power glove and the Game Gear and so on. So Yejin remembers Quill 18, right? This is nostalgia, instant nostalgia, just saying Quill 18. This is so nice. Yeah, here we have a different view of my desktop. The AKG headphones, which were recommended to me from Pro Audio guys, said nothing is better than the AKG. And for years, they were just pressing against my ears a little bit too hard. And no matter what different kinds of shells I tried, it never worked out. And now I'm rocking I think those are the Bayer Dynamics DT770 Pro. And I am so happy with these. So, apparently everyone was wrong. Then we have here an old Asus Android tablet. It's long gone. Then here my M audio station. I still have this preamp, but right now I'm rocking the Tube Ultra Gain Mic 500 USB. So this is an XLR microphone that goes into this tube preamp, and probably from what you're hearing is a little bit warmer and softer. But as here for the mouse, you can still see this mouse. Yeah, still having the good old Logitech mouse. And not because they are the best mice. They have in the recent years declined substantially in their quality, but I got a deal where I think I could buy 3 mice for the price of 2. And since I think one of these costs like 70 euros, I'm just using them up. Yishi says, Phil and Quill 18 brought me to Ludum Dare and game jams in general. It's so nice. Thank you for putting me on the same level as Quill 18. This means a lot to me. So I'm very glad that I brought you to Gamedev, and because, very selfishly, because I get to play your games, the Ludum Dare games especially. So I think it's a win-win for both of us. Oh, talking about a win-win, this is Connie. People thought that Connie was my acquaintance from Starbucks, but no, we've been together before. This was just a job for her to bridge between 2 other jobs, and it was just so funny that it was at the Starbucks that I frequented. So the upside was I got much more coffee than was good for me. The downside was I got much more coffee than was good for me. But yeah, the cool thing was when Connie was gone, people still knew there when they saw me that, okay, this guy, we have somehow to treat him differently, and sometimes he gets coffee for free and we don't know why, but that's just how it is. Of course, once the rotation was a little bit too much at some point, then all my perks there vanished, but still I got some free coffee out of it. And yeah, talking about nostalgia, our old flat, and what I find kind of interesting is this is no smart TV. So what are we watching Nostalgia Critic on? You can see this innocuous pixel thing here, if you can recognize it. If not, here is a hint. This belongs together. Yes, we are one of the few people who got a Wii U, because I thought, yeah, it's from Nintendo. How bad can it be? it wasn't bad. It was kind of neat. And definitely you can see that this was a stepping stone from, okay, is this portable or is this a stationary console? But essentially it was okay. And I don't think we played it a lot. What it did get out, was the most use of was, it had a YouTube app on it, and this is what we did to watch YouTube. Same thing for the PS4 that we got. Played a little on the PS4, but most what we got was the Netflix app and the YouTube app and the Twitch app. And also here, that's a Retron 5, and here is Ocarina of Time, the Zelda thing. And look at this. This is the Steam controller when this was still big, and I still have it, by the way. Steam controllers. Right, so we've already talked about this, but one thing that even back then was kind of old was the Wacom tablet. And I haven't praised it enough, I think, so just let me reiterate. The Wacom Intuos 4, still a great tablet. And there we can see it's still the same mouse. Pure gold, says I Like Sci-Fi. Indeed, right? Old stuff. Talking about old stuff, this was the old IKEA wall clock before we had the nice Pixel one that you can't see. But I still have the Pixel one because it was a gift from Connie, and it's so fitting for Pixel Prophecy. But before that we had this one, and I think I even with a marker painted these notches here black, so just that it was a little bit easier to see against the white wall. And we've talked about the Café Wernbacher. From the outside, at least it still looks similar, but on the inside, it has changed a little bit. And another thing, finally, is we're not too good with our balcony plants. So this, I think, it turned into a running gag, like having a cat show up in one shot or two in almost every postmortem is the shot of plants that didn't survive our care. So I'm sorry, little, what was it, kumquat tree, but you didn't make it. And I mean, it's such a fitting image when you're struggling to finish a game, and you're broken in so many senses. So I thought this is a nice throwback. And one thing that I realized what changed my movie making or filmmaking substantially from back then is something that I really didn't realize it until I looked at how I did things back then and looked at the files especially. And I shot everything with this big bulky DSLR camera. Nowadays, just a phone suffices, right? All you need is a good phone, and in my case it's a Galaxy S from 23 or something, and the camera is pretty amazing, I would say. I mean, of course, it's a little bit over processed. Even when you shoot in RAW mode, you still have, you notice that something is going on even at the hardware level where it tries to sharpen the image or make it very pleasing. So essentially it's less a good camera, but more in terms of an engineering hardware thing or filtering, so to speak. And this makes it possible now that I can shoot much easier without bringing the entire camera, because back then when we were shooting the driving scenes where it was just a POV of me driving while Connie was driving beside me holding the camera hopefully very still, and we had to focus on everything, so it was really a hassle. And with the phone camera, the picture, like I said, it still can't hold up to an actual DSLR image, especially if you shoot it in RAW mode. But overall, it's good enough, and you can still, in post, treat the image at least somewhat, at least better than you could with a good old, digital video, the small DV handycams from back in the day. So again, this really has changed my video making, because I think in some videos we have slow motions there. And this again is one thing that I want to point out, where the greatest flagship from Samsung is actually worse than the one that I had before, because this one also sports what they call a super hyper time lapse or hyper slow motion. And what it turns out is it's exactly the same kind of slow motion that the other phone had, but instead of but then it still slows it down by just interpolating between the frames. And this is very noticeable, and it says it does it with AI support and anything, but it does look like shit. And the actual unprocessed, un-AI-ified slow motion from the older phone is actually better than whatever shit comes out of this one. So it's very, very niche, high-end filmmaking talk there. Kirsty says, yeah, enjoying this post-mortem of the first 10 years of Pixel Prophecy. Oh, good. Thank you that you're still enjoying this, enjoying my old ramblings about how things have changed. and I'm looking at if anything I've missed. So the giveaway, apparently no one has interest in my one of my 5 keys, which is all fine. Again, I don't want to force it on everyone, but if someone thought, you know what, I would enjoy some nice programming music in the background, and oh yeah, Ingvar says, yeah, ramblings. I'm glad you're here for the ramblings, or at least you stay for the ramblings, because the later the hour grows, the more I tend to just hop on wild tangents. So apart from that, I think this concludes the celebration. We even had apparently a visitor from the future. And what does the future bring for Pixel Prophecy? And it sounds sad, but it's a bit more of the same. Hopefully a little bit more of the same, because I'm trying to reduce work a little bit so that I can have a little more time to work on my pet projects. And as you know, Pixel Prophecy started out as making games and videos about games, and it's now doing things that are interesting or fun or creative with a computer. And I'm just so glad that I can share with you my weird little very niche topics that I dive into, like we had last week, where I Like Sci-Fi, were you there, where I was showing my recreation of the Knight Rider theme in Reason, because I'm still trying to get this Prophet 5 synthesizer sound. And I even have here something that is called the Messiah, which is a VST plugin that tries to mimic this synthesizer, just so that I can make an almost perfect recreation of the Knight Rider theme. And yeah, talking about the Knight Rider theme, I have to show you something. I'm not one to go crazy with knickknacks and action figures, but this week, because I was making the Knight Rider theme and recreating it, also in pixel music form, I've made 2 impulse purchases. Number one is this one, and look at this little scanner goes. Yeah, this is. Actually, I have bought this so that I can make the thumbnail for the song correct. You know what? Since we're on nerdy topics, I think I can show you just how deep again this rabbit hole goes. I Like Sci-Fi says, OMG, I'm hassling. Yeah, let's hassle that off. Jerry says, Future Phil is proof that this 10 years was just the start. Apparently, otherwise he wouldn't be around, right? And yeah, the other impulse purchase on the same lines is, I mean, you can probably guess it. It's finally, I've invested in the Blu-ray box of this, and this is the German release of it, which means it has the much beloved German dub over it, which is something that I'm very nostalgic about it, because when I was watching this in the 80s, of course, I only knew the German version, so it's good to have it in there. And it comes with how long does it say? About 4 hours of bonus interviews and exclusive things. So again, this is what I'm very much looking forward to watching, because I haven't seriously watched Knight Rider since I was a kid. Maybe just on and off, maybe just 10 minutes in between when I was just surfing channels. So I'm very much looking forward to revisiting my childhood. And one last thing, because since I got this, I saw something in my recommendations, and please bear with me. I haven't. It's still in its box. It's still in its box, but yeah. As a kid of the 80s, and this is one of my favorite movies, and when I hit the button, even the flux capacitor lights up. Oh, great Scott! If this thing hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit. So, a little toys for somewhat grown men. Beautiful, says I Like Sci-Fi. Oh, it aged well. Not, the good old series. I mean, I'm looking forward to some very cheesy 1980s action with lots of shooting and little to none repercussions. But it's still a cool show, right? I mean, I'm here for it. For Goliath, for Carr, and for Gareth, right? So yeah, what I was working on. Let's finish this off. Is I took some photos of this model because I want to make this a poster. So this is the model taken with a good camera. And by the way, the background is just my computer screen. So I shot this right here in front of me on the screen with a good camera, so that I can have different. That I can vectorize it essentially and have it maybe as a poster, where this is just in 1/3 on the bottom, and over it says Night Industries 2000 or something. So because I mean it would be a nice stylish poster. So, and the other thing was that I had for, where do we have it? Those are all my projects that I'm just doing because I like it to do it. So this is the cover for the 8-bit version of the Knight Rider theme. So, and I thought, you know what, this is the very iconic frame, right? This is essentially synthwave in, where do we have it here? This is essentially synthwave, how synthwave started. This frame here from Photoshop. I just want to zoom in. I'm holding down Control and just hitting plus or minus once, and Photoshop is just going absolutely berserk with it. I have no idea. This is since the last update, so I need to just click here. Okay, so this works now. So yeah, again, I just love this shot, right? I Like Sci-Fi says, oh yes, this picture makes me happy. Just indeed, right? So we're kids of a certain era, but then again, if you look at it and if I zoom in, you can see here, of course, it's grainy. It's hard to make out what is going on. So what I did was, first I took this image where the car is a little bit closer. But again, you can see here, it's kind of, you can see here the JPEG artifacts and so on. So instead, I up-resed it through going through Topaz Gigapixel AI. It's a little bit better, but still, I mean, somewhat low in resolution. But that's okay, because I just cut this one out and put it in this image. And this is how it started. And long story short, I've recreated more or less the entire thing. When I zoom in now, or instead of zooming in, I can overlay the original. That was this one here. So if I just put it on top of it. So of course I made it a bit larger now in my recreation. But let's save this very close. Yeah, when I go back and forth between it, you can see this is almost a complete recreation. The only thing that is still kind of the same is here this line in between with just the bushes and the trees somewhere. Everything else is just recreated from scratch, so that I can perhaps use it in some way. Also here the scanner. This is just painted on. So, and why did I do it? Just felt like it because I needed it for this cover that is it's just an image that gets displayed when you play the song on sefcarissa.com. That's all. But I had so much fun doing it, and yeah, I think this epitomizes what Pixel Prophecy is about. I find a very niche little thing like making games or making, in this case, remaking a cover, and then just go all in and try to have fun recreating it. And the best part about it is that I can share it with you and you don't walk away and think, oh my God, what a waste of time. So I'm very, very grateful for that I can share these kinds of little projects with you. And yeah, I don't know where I want to go with this. Just again, it's I tried different ways of saying thank you. Right, and with this, I think I've been streaming now for over 3 hours now, and all my set list, we have played all the hits, all the good songs, and this again will end up hopefully on YouTube unless I forget for some reason. And right, so all I can say is cheers to... Here, I'm big again. Here's to 10 more years, at least 10 more years. I'm still having a blast. I'm still enjoying making my weird little gamey things and enjoying every aspect about the indie game dev thing, that Ludum Dare scene. And I'm so glad that I've met all of you wonderful internet friends through it. And yeah, I'm just happy to share what I have. And yeah, very much looking forward to 10 more years. Cheers, man, says Alexa Fight. Cheers, says Andrew JK. Cheers, says Ingvar. Cheers, everyone in here in the chat, says Alexa. Yerzy says, cheers to another 10 years. And so I shall empty the last of my coffee. With gulping sounds just for good old Jerem. And I just realized there should have been music playing, the postmortem music in the background for a year. Ah, well. Bling on Barry even says, cheers. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming to my party. That is the Pixel Prophecy 10th anniversary party. There will be another one with the 20th anniversary. Hopefully before that we will have the LD42 postmortem. ASMR indeed, yes. Again, I'm a little bit torn because personally it's called, I think, misophonic, is when you have a certain almost bodily reaction to some certain sounds that you hear. And to me, it's when I hear someone chew, and especially very close to the microphone, or just some mouth noises, or yeah, just gulping or smacking or something. It's just, ugh. And maybe other people have this. So usually when I snack, which I rarely do on stream, I usually mute the microphone. That's what I said. So Yerzy has the same condition. Yeah. And of course there are other people like cheers to Jerem, who can't get enough of good old mouth noises ASMR. So it's hard to find a middle ground between, yeah, I love it and I hate it. So it's maybe just a little bit so everyone can be annoyed with me. Right. Okay. So let me finish this. And usually I forget to rate people. Maybe I can look into rating someone. And I told this story before, when I first heard, oh my God, we're going to rate this person, I thought, oh God, this is like swatting, where you again send all your viewers there to their address physically and to harass someone. And I thought, oh my God, I'm being raided, I'm being hacked, I have to go, bye. So yeah, hopefully it has grown a little bit different in my understanding. So what I'm getting recommended from Twitch is of course Bob Ross, which we cannot raid. I tried. Then we have someone playing No Man's Sky. Someone is doing something in the streets. I don't know, lots of people playing Valorant. And we have some DJing going on. Oh, there was one thing that I think, did I show it to you? Okay, this is a little bonus. When you're into music and procedural generation, look at Strudel. Yes, Strudel is a layered pastry with a thin dough similar to phyllo that is rolled around a filling. But I'm talking about Strudel music software, because that's Strudel REPL, Strudel REPL. And what is Strudel REPL? Well, if you enjoy, let me put this there. Thank you for Kaiser Schmarrn remembering. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing, but it is a live music making thing. So essentially, how does it work? I mean, here it looks a little bit, well, intimidating, but see what happens when I hit this one. Yeah, you can make music with this, and essentially this is when you like programming and making music, this is your thing. So I think there is getting started making your first sounds. For example, here we have BD hi-hat, snare drum, open hi-hat, and this is essentially how it starts and how you can layer sounds together. And then you can say, for example, you want these hi-hats to be a little bit faster. You can put them in their little enclosure, or you can say, I don't know, filter. I haven't looked too much into this thing, but there you can say sound from the bank of a Roland TR 909 drum machine, so it sounds different like the good old Roland TR synthesizer. Then you can start sequencing things together when you have them, when you put them here in a cycle with these brackets, and suddenly if you further scroll down, this is just for drums, and then you can have rests, you can have subsequences, you can have alternatives, you can even have different random pitches and so on. And when we look here at effects, you can play certain notes, and with effects, let's say here sound is a sawtooth synthesizer. When I change this to square, then it should play with a square. Oh, I shouldn't have hit this one. Should play with a square oscillator and so on. So you can see how this is going, or what things you can make of this. It's kind of, I mean, if you enjoy programming and this kind of stuff, you get already itchy fingers because you want to try it yourself. This is crazy, says I Like Sci-Fi. And indeed it does. And I think there is on TikTok, there is DJ Dave, and let me find DJ _Dave__. And yes, this is DJ Dave, and she's making things with Strudel, and it's this. Yeah, I think I've shared this. This is what you can make with Strudel.
Drum stack here first, which right now is just playing a clap and then this break loop sample down here. And then I have my bass line, which is playing these notes here, and then the low pass filter is on a slider, which I could also change to my mouse movement if I want. Then I have a vocal chop down here. And I included a second one.
Indeed, wouldn't it be cool to include source code for music for an LD Jam? Right, if you make an LD Jam game, why not make the music with Strudel and then release your source code for your music? Right, again, I find it the most fascinating thing is when you just look at the code, what's going on, and understand, okay, you chop up here this sample, it's a note of a G flat, and with the slider you can control the low pass filter and the cutoff. Then you can have a post gain, and you can pick the PG, I have no idea, this program gain or the beat, and so on and so forth. So again, if you look at the code, you feel like, oh, okay, this kind of makes sense. And the cool thing is that you can say here, yeah, I want a scope. And this is actually this display here. This is _scope. This one here is called punch card because it looks like a punch card. So again, if you have something where you feel like I want here a oscilloscope, you _scope. Or if you want to have something that looks like a sequencer line, then you can say _punch card and so on. Again, it feels like, ooh, I want to try this. Right, okay, talking about rating people. Should we rate someone for art, or what are you into? If some of you are still awake and looking to get more on Twitch, this doesn't make sense. If you want to keep watching, what are you interested in? I mean, let's see what is going on with retro. I think after 10 years of Pixel Prophecy, let's look at some games that are maybe a little bit older than Pixel Prophecy, so that I don't feel that old. Maybe. Oh, look at this. Someone is playing the good old Mario Kart. Or what do we have here? No idea what this is. Oh, this is Batman on the NES. Oh, wonderful. So, no idea. Is any one of my usual people streaming? None of them are. That's sad. Because Ash said hi is usually a very, very mellow and also retro stream. She's great. But apparently they're all offline today. Ah, bummer. You know what? I'm not picking any favorites. So you are all grown people to a certain extent, excluding myself, of course. So if you need something to watch, let me recommend Knight Rider, because then you know that the quality in serious TV shows has increased somewhat. But again, it's probably more of a guilty pleasure. Anyway, as always, I don't know how to end things. I'm glad that you all have been sticking with me for almost 4 hours, 3.5 hours right now. I won't overstay my welcome again. Probably will be here for 10 more years and then 10 more and so on and so forth. So again, thank you everyone. Have a wonderful week. The next stream will be next week on Sunday. I think it's an even week number, which means it's Sunday. I always have to look it up. So it's in on Twitch, it's in my schedule. It says there even weeks or odd weeks, and whether it's a Sunday or a Saturday. Hopefully I can stick to it. Right, Badger Dash says, thanks for the stream, love you. Mwah. Badger Dash, love you too so much, or this is how you do it, or that's how the Gen Z does it. Kersey says, buy with so many, is pizza slices or nacho sticks? It's a Dorito, right? That's the thing. Congrats again. Thank you, everyone. As always, much love goes out from me to you, and I hope, we both of us, all of us, stick around for many more years to come. All right, bye-bye.